君のことば繰り返し寝ても覚めてもやまないそっけない君の笑顔が恋しくて星に願うのまた会えるよね
Let's go. side to side, let's go. Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. On everybody, bring it in.
brings you to the lost and found, dear. Won't you pull up a seat? Everybody got a prize round here to play. Make me an offer, what will it be? Oh, what will it be? Welcome to the playground, follow me. Tell me your nightmares and fantasies. Sink into the wasteland underneath. Stay for the night, I'll sell you a dream. Welcome to the playground. 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 Follow me. Tell me your nightmares and fantasies. Sink into the wasteland underneath. Stay for the night, I'll sell you a dream.
You walk along the edge of danger, and it will change you. Why would you let this voice set in your head? It is meant to destroy you. You summon storms, you play with nature. Now watch it hurt you. Why would you want to shape the world in your hands? You will never make it through. Catch the fire burning out your soul. Just make it die, or you will turn it all to ashes and blood. To ashes and blood. You waste your life to gain power. You shift the game rules. How does it feel to reach the line that no one ever got to cross? Does it make you a god now? and blood. To ashes and blood. To ashes and blood. To ashes and blood. To ashes and blood.
Hey, what? Hey, look up at the sky, it's just a starting line. Waltzing through the storm, feel the vibe align. Radiant rebels in the silent fray. In the pulse of dawn, we embrace the day. We find harmony in mayhem, finding our own beat. Eyes ablaze with laser focus. Dancing through the storm, we become the light. Against all odds, we'll stand and play in this never-ending fray. Eyes alive in the pulse of dawn, we find our beat when the chances take form through the noise. Hey, look down at the tide, it's our warning sign. It's time to rock the wave or get swept aside. Crash through barriers, our destinies untied. We find harmony in mayhem, finding our own beat. Eyes ablaze with laser focus. We become the light. We become the light. Against all odds, we'll stand and play in this never-ending fray. Eyes alive in the pulse of dawn, we find our beat when the chances take form through the noise. Hey, look up at the sky, it's just a starting line. Hey, look up at the sky, it's just a starting line. Radiant rebels in the silent fray. In the pulse of dawn, we embrace the day. We find harmony in mayhem, finding our own beat. Eyes ablaze with laser focus. Dancing through the storm, we become the light. We become the light. Against all odds, we'll stand and play in this never-ending fray. Eyes alive in the pulse of dawn, we find our beat when the chances take form. When darkness falls, you are my light. You take my hand and hold it tight. You are my home, I know it now. Don't let me go, we're safe and sound. I see your beauty shine, you radiate with
Wait, is he switching lanes? Red Bull gives you wings.
If you had it all, would you look the fall in the eyes? Could you walk away this time? Will you realize, recognize it's never over? And the flame that once had died, awaken. Will you rise above the days to come? Will you be enough? Will you walk away this time?
best intros I've seen in years.
Oh, Jackies! For a bit on it. Tries already, but a dredge line. Oh, their rapid, crazy minds brought in the arcane again.
Everything blue in this arena. Everything blue.
Welcome everybody to the last day of the LEC versus in the studio, because next weekend we will be in Barcelona. Thank you so much for clapping today. I know that yesterday, we got
I
off to a rough
clapped
start.
yesterday.
You did, but we made it work. I'm really happy. And I'm here with Drakus and Finn for the last day in the studio, because we'll be heading to Barcelona and we have G2 versus Zemko. It's a perfect day, isn't it?
I mean, it's a beautiful day.
It's a Monday.
And it's a Monday, but
That's
it's one
us.
of the good ones, because we're finally in best of 5
Woo!
fearless. Oh, I have waited so long.
I mean, it's so good, too, because yesterday we finally got like a third game in our best of 3s, and
Yes.
game 3 was Rumble Cassante. So please, like, I'll get a
And
game
Seraphine
4,
ADC.
game 5. I don't want to talk. Please don't make us talk
No,
about
not gonna
Seraphine,
talk
please.
Oh,
Please.
give it an Oren Maokai game for it. Give me something that I like.
No, let's take a look at the bracket, because we did see a Seraphine ADC in the last match of Vitality. So in the end, it was KC that booked their tickets to Barcelona. They'll be playing GX in our first match in the Olympic Arena on Friday. That means we have to decide who gets a bye directly to the grand final, G2 or Movistar KOI. Is it close?
I mean, I think it's very close. Because I think both of these teams are coming in with a lot of momentum. I think they've both ramped up kind of. Okay, Drakus, I see your skeptical eyes, but let me tell you a story. Both of the teams are ramping up rapidly, and I feel like MKOI always steps up in the playoffs, and we know G2 is very clutch. So
Yeah,
I
and
think
G2 never steps up in the playoffs.
G2's never stepped
Famously.
up. There was not maybe a recent final, maybe 4 months ago, where we probably said the same thing, and then G2 won 3-0.
I mean, that was in Spain. We're in Berlin right now.
Okay.
Where are we going?
Where are we right
We're
now?
going to Spain. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here, but looking at this top 4,
Is there an imposter?
there is an imposter, and it's GX. Like,
Yeah.
look, I'm going to be honest with you. They beat Navi, and they beat Navi fair and square. I don't want to take that away from them. But Vitality, to me, was the 4th best team in our league. KC beat them, dismantled them yesterday. So GX, they've got a lot to prove in Spain. If they come out swinging like they did in Madrid last year, I think that they could maybe have a mark, but they are the underdogs, and they are for sure the odd man out.
I mean, the good thing is they're playing against the French team in their home Spanish crowd arena, so the crowd will be on their side. And I
That's
think
true.
there's going to be a lot of energy going their way. And I'm still waiting to be convinced by GX, because I feel like we've seen why they win games, but we haven't really seen why they're great yet. And that's kind of the last step we're trying to reach.
They're a 5th place team. They kept the roster, and we found the missing piece. It's a favorable bracket draw. That's all they need to get into top 4. Now, I would love for it to be something other than that, but for now, we're just going to have to wait and see.
All right, then it's G2 versus Movistar KOI, but G2, they had a bit of a dicey game versus KC as well, didn't they?
I mean, the dicey game, the dicey series. And well, let me tell you a little story here. Let me take you on a journey, because last week, or even last a few days ago even, G2 and KC battled it out, and it was an absolute banger. It went to a base race situation, and I want to break down exactly what made it so close, because it looked like KC had the upper hand. It looked like KC had just secured an Elder buff back on the hands of a really good wall by Kehu and a great smite by Yike. But here they are pushing in the base. They have Elder, they have Soul. It should be an easy game, but luckily for G2, they had the only champion out of 172 champions in the game that could hold this, and that was Broken Blade on the Rumble. You see the base timers right now on Jarvan and Ryze is 22 and 23, so they really need to hold this wave, but due to great equalizer by Broken Blade, he manages to hold this wave out. And now it looks like it's still tricky. It looks like Casey is pushing up. Broken Blade does end up going down there, but he did his job. He got the wave, and now I would love to pause the frame here, because look at the base timers. Caps is back up. Jarvan is spawning, but it's still 3 men pushing into the base here. It is an Elder, it is a Soul. Let me reiterate it. That is not an easy fight to win. But Hansama has the absolute right idea here. He's like, if they hit me, they're not hitting my base. So he's just sending his face in there, daring them to hit him instead of the Nexus. And Kalist makes a choice. He does not go for Hansama. He W's forward, and due to massive rune, gate by Caps. He gets in there and gets Skumond in. And this defense just really highlights why G2 is so clutch, why they always find their moment. And even if it's looking dire, due to Caps factor, they always find a way to clutch their way back. And I don't think we're gonna get 5 base races today, but give me one. I would love one little base race. I'm gonna walk back to the desk with my lovely analyst.
I hope the camera should get some of the support staff behind, because Roman was being like, no, don't do this to me. Please don't do this to me that many times.
To be fair, we all remember the final moments of that game too, but remember that at the beginning, G2 had a massive lead, and a lot of things went wrong to put us in that scenario. Now,
but a lot of things went right as well in the end.
That's true. Yeah. And the thing here is, I think G2 are in the business of winning. If they're in the business of making cinema, great game. If you're in the business of winning, still some things to work out there.
And I do want to sing the praises of Broken Blade. I will say, I loved your breakdown, and the best equalizer we ever seen on a straight line of minions coming.
Hey, he did the job, right? He picked Rumble, he locked in the champion that he didn't lock in for 2 years, okay?
It's very hard to miss.
Character development.
It's true. So let's talk a bit about Broken Blade, because he did have an insane performance, right? And I think we may have become desensitized to it because Naknako had a bit of a masterclass the day after, but this was insane.
I mean, I feel like Broken Blade just actually became him recently. Like the fact that he's now shown that you cannot blind pick tanks against him, because he will lock in this Gwen, he will break some records on your face, put you in the history books as the defeated, and just make montages, because he looked insane in that series against Kana.
And it sounds like something that would be more common in our league, but it really isn't. The ability to just blind pick a tank has almost always been good. Look at the GX series yesterday. They slam Ornn. The counter, Rumble, nothing happens.
Hey man, I made a career of that. I was just blind picking tanks.
I'm not here. You're not. Don't worry. I'm not trying to drag you. It's not about you, Finn. I promise. But Broken Blade ascending to the level where he can pick a counter pick and say, I'm in a 1v9. I'm going to make this game about me is great. We've seen it from Naknako. We've seen it from Kana. For the first time, we're seeing Broken Blade do it against Kana, and it leaves me feeling like G2 now have a top side where they can really rely on that carry threat.
So you're saying it usually doesn't matter in Europe, even if you pick a winning matchup?
Are you kidding me? Absolutely not. No? Why does Sion look broken, and in every other region they like counter pick it and they just dunk on
it? He looks broken in Korea too.
Sion is a little bit broken.
You can use Sion.
Back. Sion is broken. But since when have we been able to just blind pick Ornn and never be punished? For a number of years now. So I feel like the class of top laners we're seeing, there's big enough discrepancies and big enough skill expression from the new generation of top laners that we finally see those big differences, those big carry performance. So top lane does feel relevant instead of just being 2 tanks, a Maokai and Ornn, whatever you were saying earlier. Because you existed in a time where it didn't matter. I'm sorry.
Finn, where's Mirwin in this conversation? I didn't hear you bring him up.
I mean, I have seen Mirwin do all these fancy things Dracos has been talking about last year, but I haven't seen it this year yet. But maybe this is the series where it actually shows.
Maybe? Is that what you're going off?
Strong maybe.
Maybe.
I'll give you maybe.
A powerful maybe.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. I do know that you talked to Alfari, who is the positional coach for Mirwin earlier, so let's see what he said.
That's right, Shox. I'm standing here with Barney, big boy Barney Morris. How are you doing, Barney?
I'm doing okay.
You're doing quite all right.
Yeah, big boy Finn.
I was going to talk to you because this game today is obviously quite important, and I think there's no better person to ask regarding these top laners than you, because obviously you coached Broken Blade last year and a bit prior to that, and now Mirwin. So where would you say is the main difference between these top laners? Because I don't think anyone knows them better than you.
I mean, I think they're both kind of crazy with their picks. I would say that Broken Blade, when it comes to him being crazy, is more on like melees, like the Warwick and the Yasuo and the Lee Sin. Whereas Mirwin, I think he's a bit more of a ranged top, you know, connoisseur, you know, Nidalee, Smolder, you know, these kind of weird stuff.
I can definitely see that. We haven't really seen that much crazy from Mirwin yet this split though, at least not on stage. Do you think we're going to see something more today?
Probably not, honestly. Probably not. I think it's just tanks and maybe you'll have like a game 5 Vayne, but
okay, we'll game 5 way, look out for it. Now, obviously, I think Broken Blade has looked really good in last series against KC. Coming in, what do you think Mirwin really needs to do to kind of beat Broken Blade in his own home, so to say?
I think he just has to, you know, play standard. I think it's like not so much like, you know, I think top is not really important, honestly, this game. I think both are like pretty evenly matched. I think it's more just like how we play as a team. As boring as it is to say, like top doesn't matter, it's a bot meta. As long as like neither top lane ins to jungle, which, you know, might happen because jungle's OP, then yeah, just about bot, honestly.
You're really full-on coach now. You're just saying play safe, top lane doesn't matter, just support your
Top
team
doesn't
now.
matter at all. Just don't die the jungle.
What happened to stomping lane and picking GP and just blind picking and just going 15 series ahead?
I mean, the game changed, man. It's
changed.
not the same as it used to be.
You heard it here first. The game changed. Just play safe top is the new meta, and nothing interesting is going to happen today, according to the MKOI coach Alfari. Now we're sending it back to Shox, and I do believe me as well. Thank you very much, Alfari.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lie. Didn't he watch the... Okay, Broken Blade put Kana in his pocket. How can you go into... I think this is wishful thinking.
Yeah, but I'm going to be honest, it's convenient for us.
It's true.
Because I don't think that we're going to see that again, and I think there are other parts of the map that are significantly more important. And even if Finn and I might not see eye to eye on who the victor will be today, I think we can agree jungle, the roles that are going to enable the supporting cast here, probably around mid laners as well as supports, that is the key here.
Everything but top.
Sorry, 80 carries, you get to be supporting characters, you know, you get the money, sure, top laners, we don't care about you. It is jungle, mid, support in this matchup. And I got to say, looking back at Sumber, Skewmon, Lebrov, what did we say going into that series? We said Lebrov was going to choke. He didn't. They smashed in that matchup. They went 3-0. So if this was summer finals, I would have been doubtful. It's 2026. Lebrov showed up when it counts, and I think G2 have the edge.
Well, first of all, you're talking about who's going to be the victor today. I don't think anyone is picking victor, because I think it's going to be very volatile champions that's going to be picked there. And I can't believe you're putting so much faith in Lebrov. He's going up against Alvaro. If you give Alvaro a Rel, a Rakan, if you give Alvaro anything that even has a semblance of CC, he can outperform Lebrov. And if you put it together with Elyoya, I do see Alvaro and Elyoya as our prime support jungle duo in our league. And I know G2 has Caps. I know they have him. I know he's the elephant in the mid lane, but still, Cap said that Kehu and Poby was the two best mid laners. But then just Georgian just ran over them. He ran over Poby last time they played. I think he has something
No,
to
you
prove
can't.
against.
Transitive properties, it doesn't work.
No, it does
He
work.
has also ran over Caps in the past, at some point, just not...
okay,
Every single time,
Hold on.
every single time Caps has played against Georgian this year, he has TP'd on a tower by mistake.
True.
It's true.
And Caps was first blood the first two games they played against G2 in the finals. Jojo found that kill first time.
Also
there was
true.
jungle
So you're
support.
making an argument for me. Thank you, Drake.
Did they win those games, Finn? It's not a who dies for first blood.
Well,
it's not a
again-
who dies more contest. It's a who kills the Nexus contest. Who wins in that regard? And the thing is, I want to believe in the ceiling of MKOI, but when push comes to shove, G2 are the team that have delivered, and I can't take that out of the equation.
I will say, we've had this conversation about Movistar KOI many times. And that's when they're best. That's when they come out swinging, and then they tell us that we're wrong, which is also objectively true.
I mean, yeah, but I don't want to put it in the intangibles, right? I respect Melzet for saying, hey, look, we're going to kind of take it easy against easier opponents. We're going to go harder against harder opponents. I think that's the mentality you have to have when you play a long season, when you expect to be going to these international events. But this is a tough opponent.
But if you don't beat G2, how are you going to beat Genji?
I mean, exactly, and that's the thing. I hate when EU teams skip steps. It's like we have to shadow box against imaginary Korean teams. I don't want the LCK 5th seed on my stage. I want the LEC 1st seed.
Look,
I want the best team in our region, not another region.
I know you usually cast these games, and I know LEC casters are usually G2 favorite, but here, I know you have your fancy little glasses, but we're using our eye test here, okay? And the eye test is speaking heavily for MKOI. Have you watched them play a single game this year? I remember everyone was calling them inconsistent in the regular split and saying that G2 is still a top 2 team. Bro, G2 almost didn't make playoffs. Sure, they beat KC last week, but that was because of some heavy performances by the G2 solo laners. I don't think G2 as a whole even steps up to the complexity that is the MKOI game plan.
What is complex about their game plan?
They just play wherever there's plays to be made. Like, you know, Supa, he can play strong side, Supa can play weak side, Mirwin can play tanks. That's mostly what he does this split. But Elyoya, Georgian, and Alvaro, they're so volatile. They're so crucial at finding good plays.
I believe in the ceiling. But yeah, we got to go. We can fight about this all day. Let's just see what they have to say.
Let's see. And, oh, does my cape look fabulous in this angle? It's amazing. Who's where? Who wants Caps, maybe? Caps. What can we expect today? What are you going to do to Jojo Pyun? Fighting words.
I mean, we can expect a clean win coming in from us. Of course, it's fearless, so we might be going for a few extra games here in our first best of 5 of the year. But when we want to win, it'll be clean.
Okay, when they want to win, it will be clean. When they don't want to win, we're going to maybe get a base race. Jojo, anything to say to Caps?
No.
Nice. Gonna make the actions on the Rift speak harder than words. It's time for Movistar KOI versus G2 Esports for a spot in the grand final in Barcelona. Let's go.
Let's get on into it. I'm Medicon, joined by Jack, Spectra, and Vetti to lead you through this first best of 5 here of LEC versus in Winter. G2 and MKOI taking to the stage, both undefeated so far through playoffs.
And I felt like Jojo said so much with so little. Confidence, bravado. His actions will speak louder than his words, exactly as Shock said, and I'm expecting a thrilling matchup in the mid lane coming into today's best of 5.
Feels like a privilege to be here with these two teams. This
I thought you were
rivalry
going to
that's
say
been building up.
casters.
Oh, and these casters, I mean, legends
shame.
standing next to me here. No, I mean, G2 and MKOI, it's really starting to build up into this rivalry. Last year, we saw them go head-to-head quite a bit, and it went both sides. I'm personally favoring G2. I think they had a really nice series against KC. Yes, that game too, it went long. A lot of things happened, right? It was messy. But I just feel like Caps, for me, he hasn't played like this in a long, long time. We talked about last year that we hold Caps to a different standard, right? Caps needs to be great, not just good. And this year, he has been great.
Absolutely. I mean, I would argue the only caveat to that is that teleport play that he made in mid lane, Jojo specifically. And I mean, these mid laners, they're super fun to watch. We know that, I mean, last year the conversation, especially going into Worlds, was Caps the best all-round mid laner that we have in Europe. Jojo the best lane mid laner. He's the man that will bring it to Caps. He's the guy that will fight him in lane. He's the guy that will build that lead. And then it was Caps himself that said that in terms of mid laners that he thinks are the most difficult to play against, Jojo wasn't even on his list.
Definitely some disrespect there. I was surprised by that as well. But I feel like Jojo hasn't had the same lane dominance this year that I feel like he had last year. And Caps has just been beating him in every aspect of the game, apart from the one series where Caps teleport to a minion, like you said, Betty.
That was a long time ago.
If we delete that from our minds, Caps is flawless right now.
It was a long time ago. We are into picks and bans as we see the Yunara and the Rumble banned away by G2, who are on the blue side and have first pick. They selected to be on the blue side. MKOI selected second pick. Mundo and Varus are banned away by MKOI. And it looks like we do just have a small problem with the lobby. Interestingly, G2 did have right of first selection and went for that blue side, giving MKOI the option for first or second pick, and MKOI decided second was where they wanted to be.
Interesting. I mean, I would love to break down the logic, but every time we ask teams about this, they tend to not give us a huge amount.
There was that interview with Giotto,
yeah,
who was saying, against Fnatic, perhaps you want to play on the red side, so the Razork's gank paths towards bot aren't as easy. If you're on the blue side, less easy access to the Dragon Pit, obviously, with red side having slightly easier way in there. But you do have better access towards the top side, I guess, if you want to play around the Grubs and the Baron.
It's weird to me, because I definitely feel like as a side, red side is better. You get that Drake coverage, like you said, Medi, and just in general, the fact that it's so much easier to play in bot lane is way safer. While on blue side, you're more extended, you need to walk further into the river. Maybe for the top side plays for BB, but it's weird in general. I didn't even think we'd see right of first selection be used for picks other than
first or second pick,
yeah.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. We are still playing on 26.3 here throughout the entirety of the LEC playoffs, so none of the changes that we see for 26.4 coming out. When we look at these two teams, guys, are there any picks that we are really tunneling in on? Anything that we think this must be banned or this must be picked by either team?
Well, I think that G2, so this conversation that we often have when it comes to G2 in playoffs is very much about what is it that makes them ramp up in the playoffs versus the regular season. And in my opinion, it is very much about their understanding of the meta and the patch.
Sure.
And so what we've been seeing from them so far in playoffs is split pushes and early aggressive jungler. So Vi has risen in priority quite a lot for this G2 team.
Yeah, because you can recycle from your trash to give her +1 bite and then ride the winter across.
And
yeah,
that, exactly right.
Makes sense.
So she has so much power in the early game. She has easy ways to set up with things like Talia, especially. And I think that G2 just, they've adopted this philosophy of avoiding actually just going for the standard front to back, let's just 5v5 around dragons. Whereas I feel like KOI, when it comes to playoffs, their biggest thing is their preparation against their opponents. We think back to last year in spring when they actually got their win over G2. We credit it a lot to their good drafting, good planning, and basically shutting down exactly what G2 wanted to do.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there, Betty. Just so that everyone at home is entirely informed, we had a small client issue for G2. We are just restarting the client now. It looks like the players are getting on into drafts, so we should have that on your screen in just a moment's time. Jack, is there anything specific you're looking for out of this draft?
I mean, so I have a little riddle for you, Betty.
A riddle?
A little, it's not really a riddle. Okay.
While it dries.
So,
Owl.
Nice.
Caps always wins lane, but the rest of G2 was always losing around him. But now G2 started picking something for Caps. What is it?
Rise, Talia.
Yes,
Nice. Roaming.
That's what I'm looking for G2, because Caps has transitioned his laning leads to his team. We saw it in the KC series. He played the Rise and the Talia, as you highlighted, Vetti, and he used that pressure to make all his side lanes win. And I think that's the key player for G2 that isn't just about Caps. It's about how does Caps enable the rest of his team to play.
Okay, I'm going to say the forbidden words. 2019 G2. I'm not talking about how many they won, but when they were successful in those good old days, something that Caps loved to do was shadow his split-pushing side laners on things like the Rise, the ability to find those ganks. It worked really well for them and has done throughout the course of G2's and Caps' career. We'll see. Well, guys, that's not a Rise or a Talia. That's not Orianna first
but
here for G2.
Something that Dag has been avidly talking about a lot is it feels like that he is the best at the Orianna into Azir matches specifically. And of course, while Azir is banned, when we talk about JoJo versus Caps, I disagree with Jack in that I think that JoJo still had a fantastic laning phase pretty much for the entire split.
Sure.
And I think that there's, I mean, statistically, you're right. The Caps is the only player that is beating him. But when I watch JoJo and how he plays lane, his ability to find advantages has always impressed me. Now, I will admit, assuming that Galio is in the mid lane, I will say it will probably be somewhat challenging for him to build those same type of leads, and I think we can safely assume that Caps is going to be able to get an advantage in the early laning phase. But there's that buy that we were talking about. I think it's a really important pick away, and we saw KOI do this exact same thing against Na'Vi, where they took away Na'Vi's junglers, limited the pool as well. They ban away both the Mundo and the Poppy, and they're basically saying, hey, we know what you want to do, we're going to deny that option from you, and we're going to execute it better than you can.
We'll see where G2 decide to go with their next couple of picks. Like to see a jungler here to match up into that Vi. Lebrov's Bard is going to be brought out for the third time here in LEC Versus, and alongside it, we'll have to wait and see. Lebrov yet to lose this split on the Bard.
It's interesting to see the Bard priority rise. It makes a lot of sense into the Galio buy because you can just buy so much time for your carries with that Tempered Fate that Sonya's them up. But it's still quite strange to see it picked this early on. But I think the jungle pick would be what I was looking for next. And it's going to be the Zayan for probably Skewmon, but it is a flex. Could go up in the top lane as well. And it makes a lot of sense because MKOI are... Yes. Because MKOI are building a full dive comp. So Zayan shouldn't really have to worry about reach so much. You know that both Galio and Vi need to dive in, and that should really suit Zayan's strengths quite a bit.
But the advantage of the flex pick is going to be nullified by the fact that G2 are on blue.
That is true.
It means that they won't be able to hide where this top laner is going. The support response from KOI as well with the Nico, I think, makes a ton of sense. Not only does it further facilitate this full-on teamfight style of play, but also it's great into the Bard during the laning phase. Things like Corki can pair nicely alongside it. If you could also go for Kai'Sa, you can go Caitlyn. We know that Super is very proficient on a wide array of champions so far this split. Caitlyn is the one that's immediately coming to my mind. We'll see what the bans end up being. As KOI look to ban away the Cassante, seems like that they are expecting the Zehen in the jungle.
I think Kai'Sa would be the pick that I'm looking for Super this game because you have such a telegraphed dive comp. So I would be surprised if G2 don't decide to ban it out. I like the Zahen, even though it's potentially, I mean, it's not really having much flex value, just because in a lot of the games that we've seen Zahen, we've seen a Zahen that was playing against a lot of range and couldn't really reach. But I think MKOI, they need to double down. You know, they can't try to transition now into some sort of range and try to kite the Zahen out. They're gonna dive in, and that's when I think the champion should have a lot of value, and we'll see what Skewmon can do with it.
You look for something like the Ezreal for Super, gives you a little bit of poke, but also can get on towards that backline if your team is going in. The Kai'Sa already removed by G2 makes it tricky for you to have a full dive AD carry. Yunara and Varus banned away, no real surprises there. Two of the highest prio bot laners so far in LEC Versus.
S2's looking at a Sion right now, I feel.
Yeah, with the Gwen ban. I think for ADC here, I'm thinking Corki. Corki is the easiest. The thing is, you could go Ezreal, and it's not bad as well. I think Ezreal, Corki both make sense. The thing with Ezreal is a little bit less like DPS later on, and it's a little bit more unreliable, I'd say, while Corki feels like the more safe pickup. But
well, Super loves the Ezreal as well. Like, he also does like Corki, but I think if you were to tell me
ADC
if he's
likes Corki.
Exactly.
I'm gonna keep it real.
Right.
You know, like,
I'm out forward, I use the Gatling gun. Super's had some great outplays on the Ezreal this split alone. and continues to show that it is one of his priority picks. He's played it twice in LEC versus, did lose the first match on it, but across the entirety of his career, it is his most played. On the other side, Hans Sommer hovering the Draven. Don't really expect to see that picked. Instead, the Civet, again, something that does like it when enemies run into her, can use that spell shield to mitigate some of the damage, and then when you have a lot of people in melee, Ricochet is going to do a huge amount of work. Great call on the Sion, Betty.
I think the spell shield does have a lot of value here into this Koi lineup. Of course, if you spell shield via... exactly. If you spell shield the Vi ulti, do you still get knocked up?
No.
Okay.
But
So
you can smite on the way.
Okay.
So it's a bit of skill expression there. I mean, that's a nice Ambessa pickup to get that last pick here. Feels like G2 maybe should have tried to ban it out, as it really solidifies this engage comp from MKOI. But I like what G2 has here. They have a very clear, both comps' identities are very clear. G2, they want to kite back, try to have a long fight where Sion can tank up, Sion can stack the passive, and Sivir can get the ricochets, while MKOI, they want to go fast. Find one target, immediately one-shot them, and end the fight as soon as possible.
Yeah, there's so much dive on the side of Koi, and for G2, my initial concern was actually Civ is a hand quite short range. And their engage isn't the easiest to pull off. You would sit there and think Sion, actually a pretty good engage tool, but he's not the most reliable. His engage is quite obvious. It's quite easy to play around. But Koi are kind of doing the hard work for G2 by wanting to dive, as you're highlighting. So the fact that they will look to close the gap themselves, ultimately I feel a lot of this game will revolve around Super and his involvement. We saw how impactful he was on the Ezreal earlier this week. I mean, it was at the beginning of this week, I believe, when he played his first matchup.
Oh, beginning of last week.
Beginning of last week, yeah. And I mean, he had a fantastic performance on the Ezreal as well. So, yeah, I think interesting comps from both sides, both with a clear direction, and a nice, what's the word? Palate? No, taster. Entree.
To this amuse boost.
Yes, to this best of 5.
Nice appetizer here.
That's the word.
We head into game number 1. And I want to pick up on what you said, Betty, because it's very interesting. The thing when you have these clear compositions on what they want to do, with G2 wanting to receive the engage and MKOI wants to engage, the only worry I have for G2 is you lose a lot of that agency. Since you can't really choose when the fights happen, it's always going to be kind of on MKOI. If they go too deep, that's when G2 get an advantage. But we've seen that MKOI are really good when they can be decisive, when they have all the tools. And I worry that G2 are kind of stuck playing this reactive playstyle this game and just waiting for MKOI to make all the plays happen.
Absolutely. Well, one of the big people that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on to make things happen is Elyoya. And, I mean, there's a lot of history now developing between Elyoya and Caps. When you think about them, like, they played against each other a lot. You can see that the all-time head-to-head game score very much favors Caps. The all-time head-to-head best-of-5 score, much closer than you might expect based on those results at the top at 8-5. And I wanted to put titles on this graphic specifically because when you look at the top 3 most decorated junglers, it's Yike, then it's Jankos, and then it's Elyoya tied with Trick. The theme amongst all those junglers, G2, and then Trick also G2. Elyoya is the only player not on G2 to be contesting those titles and fighting at the top of the spot. Now, of course, Caps, we know he's the GOAT of EU. He's been racking up titles like nobody's business. But the reality is that Elyoya is the guy that when he came into the scene, he wanted to make his name on MAD. He did just that, and he's become a jungler that is fighting to earn that same sort of accolade and that same reputation that Caps has earned in EU as well.
For sure, and it feels like, well, Caps has been always kind of the captain for G2 and kind of orchestrating a lot of the roster in some ways. Elyoya's done the same now for MKOI. He's the one who built this roster and made all of this happen, as now Mirwin.
With the level advantage as well, going to be able to chase Broken Blade out, gets the grasp of the Undying proc. Wave coming in means Broken Blade can just stand a little bit further back, use that Doran shield for a bit of regeneration, but Mirwin might be able to go in. A possible kill threat. Broken Blade's going to want to stand a step forward towards that cannon. Alvaro was caught with the Cosmic Binding. Spell shield out of Hans Sommer. You can see the damage that comes out. Hans Sommer's able to avoid those Mystic shots.
And LeBron, really good trades here. Misses that Q, but it doesn't really matter. The fact that they're able to get such a big HP lead here, and it's quite puzzling to me because we've seen this matchup now quite a few times. And I think Nico should always be winning early levels because Bard is quite useless early game. He takes a few levels, you know.
It's true.
But every time we see it, it feels like Bard either goes equal or just wins.
I mean, the Bouncing Blades actually did so much work in that situation. The way that the wave was set up meant that I think Alvaro got hit by 2 or even 3 triggers of the Bouncing Blades as well to really contribute to that damage in the back and forth. So On top of that, yeah, I just want to talk about it because I remember someone explained to me many years ago Bard, and like, so if you think about Bard in lane, right? So his E is not a skill in lane. You've got Q, and then W, the heal is so pathetic that it really doesn't help much. Speaking of Elyoya, he set his sights on mid.
Jojo looking for the flash. Cap's going to flash away. Volt breaker in from Elyoya into the taunt from Jojo. Will it be enough damage to spell Caps early? It is. Albro flashing for it. 2 flashes and a heal burnt by MKOI, but they take down G2's main man.
Nice engage from KOI as they draw first blood. Skumon has set his sights on the top side of the rift, looking to equal the score.
And we're going to get knocked up by that decimating smash. Skumon now coming in, trying to proc that Darking Glaive on the minion. There's the knockup, dashes forward. Mirwin does still have a flash of his own, trying to dash away with that passive. Broken Blade still on the chase, will get the slow. And with the Roar of the Slayer out and a decimating smack, the axe comes down and BB secures the kill.
And it was fancy footwork from Mirwin, but I thought he'd be willing to invest the flash when he bought that much time, but he decided against it. He knew that if he flashes, then Skumon or Broken Blade would match. But some good early game plays here. As you see, Elyoya invests into mid lane, while Skumon invests into top.
And I think it's really important in this Orianna-Galio matchup that you do burn that flash early on the Orianna, because we know that Caps, when he's playing this Ori, the reason why he can be so aggressive on the champ is because of the amount of support he gets from his team. Look at the average stats that he's accruing on this champion. The amount of damage he's doing, his win rate, the goal difference. The reason this is all possible is because Skumon and Labrov spend a lot of time enabling his aggression. Early vision, covering his lane, basically making sure that he's safe to do what he wants. This time though, KOI attack him early. They go for a level 4 play. They try to get him before he even reaches that level 6 mark, and now that he's lost his flash, Jojo finds himself with a small gold lead in a matchup that should be much harder than this.
Yeah, now it's really important for G2 to try to have some vision around mid. You saw Caps, he put a pink ward for himself and a ward, because the worry is now when Elyoya hits level 6, no flash on Caps, Elyoya still has the flash, as Labrov might be in trouble.
Angelbob's out. Volt breaker across from Elyoya will catch out Labrov. A magical journey though gets him to safety.
Ooh. That was a close one.
Outside of lane, the E is a spell.
Yes, it certainly is. Very well played there by Labrov to get away to safety, but honestly, even better play from KOI. Something that Finn was talking about on the desk was that he believed in this trio of Elyoya, Jojo, and Alvaro. When you're seeing it happen on the map, a successful gank onto Caps, and then pick onto Labrov, which while it doesn't turn into a kill, puts pressure down and allows the Super to get this push underneath the bot wave. KOI, I like what they're doing here in the early game.
Timing on Skumon's back there, giving up this second spawn of the Scuttle Crab. Elyoya will be able to get that tick over to 6. Means that you're unlikely to fight around the Drake. When your jungler has a level disadvantage, you don't really want to try and go for this. The cease and desist would be too powerful for G2 to deal with, so it'll be first dragon of the game over to MKOI.
Skumon knows it, so he wants to try to invade the top side here, but Jojo as well is covering for his jungler. Really nice macro play here by KOI. They just want to make sure that Elyoya can get this dragon while not losing any of his topside camps in return.
It's also a cover on the gank path for Skumon. Towards that top try, could look to try and take out Mirwin again. Skumon, though, using that dreaded return to dash across the wall, will be able to get in and steal away this red while avoiding the damage. Labrov, double penetrators, but still, the auto's coming out of Super with that lethal tempo stacked up enough to take down the Bard.
And Super just catches Labrov off guard. Really nicely played there with the aggression. And we're starting to see G2 some nerves, some crumbling.
Hansama tries to body block. Double heal comes through from Labrov, and it's still not enough. Beautiful play there from Super to get another kill for KOI.
Yeah, lethal tempo doing a lot of extra work there for Super in the trade. Mirwin able to get the push in the top side here as well. Himself up a plate a little bit earlier on, and MKOI about 1,000 gold up 7 minutes into this game. Grub spawning in 30. Alvaro still only level 5, has only just ticked over to it, but Labrov is only level 4, so we're not going to see ultimates available for a Grubs fight.
Barmy Cinder early. It looks like Jojo is just going to invest in early tank rather than some of the AP that we've often seen from Galio's. Wants to make sure that he has that magic resistance available to mitigate as much damage that Caps is going to look to throw out.
KOI keeping the aggression up.
Yeah, looking for an invade of their own here.
Yeah, he's prowling around. Might look for Labrov.
Skumon has been chunked out a little bit. Will heal up from the jungle camps. Gets his level 7. Neither of the bot lane is able to move easily, but Jojo's already moved from the mid lane and has that hero's entrance. Skumon and Lebrov need to be so careful because they do not have the backup. Hansama now moving from the bot lane and standing in that bush near the Krugs, but the wave is pushing into him, and this is going to be a 4v2 very quickly. G2 back away. The smite out from Elyoya will steal away the red.
Elyoya plus Alvaro, man, they've committed to working together today. They are being as active on the map as possible. Early ganks, early objectives, early invades. Now it's Hansama isolated in the 1v2.
I love how slow KOI plays it there. They don't rush in, they wait for Jojo to move, and they make it look easy, because once you play it patient enough and you have that numbers advantage, there's no outplaying for G2. As now Broken Blade wants to try to protect the Scuttle Crab here, while also picking up a plant for himself. Try to make Elyoya's life a little bit harder, and he sets up the Crab. Skumon.
Yeah, Skumon just able to walk across and secure this one for himself. The Grubs are up. The supports are down on the bottom side of the map though. Cosmic Binding short of clipping Super there. He's had a really good early performance in this game as Mirwin comes across to see what Skumon's doing. Again, the hero's entrance means that Jojo can move quicker from the mid lane. Elyoya's on his way across.
The Capsule's hovering both here. Skumon has to be careful. Jojo is here.
Caps clearing out the wave in mid is going to start to move across. One Grub secured for G2, but the next two will go over to MKOI to get the lion's share of the early neutrals in this game.
Bit of a weird play there by G2 since Caps was hovering bot side. I'm not sure why, because Skumon started up the Grubs with the top prio, so it looked like they would be able to get at least 2, maybe even 3. But then Jojo moves first, and we talked about it earlier, as oh, we might have a trade here.
Super's very low on mana here. Lebrov looking for the Cosmic Binding, finds it through the wall. The flash away from Alvaro will get him to safety, back up after that earlier play. So Super being so low on mana makes it difficult for him to really trade back in effectively.
And finally, G2, they find something back in the bot side. It's not going to be a kill, but it's going to be 2 summoners burned. It's now Jojo. He's going to be able to E out, and if we look at this mid lane matchup, we really wanted to see Orianna do more than this. The fact that Jojo is pretty much equal CS is a big, big win for MKOI, because in the first few levels, this matchup can be really tough for the Galio. You're playing a melee champion, you're getting poked in, but it's due to the fact that the rest of the MKOI members have played so well around mid lane, around shutting down Caps, that we're not seeing this lead that we're used to seeing from Caps Orianna.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, Broken Blade has been able to use his lead to, I would say, stymie the assault that has come through from Mirwin. Early on in the laning phase, he was really bullying out the Sound. It can be difficult for the Sound to trade back, but now that he's got a lot more armor in his inventory, it is much harder for Mirwin to really contest with the Eclipse. I imagine this matchup will shift a little bit more, but ultimately, both sides nearing the completion of that first item. You can see the Trinity Force done for Skumon, along with the... and it looks like the Essence Reaper being built for Hansama. Trinity Force for Super on its way as well. Eclipse done for Mirwin. So a lot of these item completions coming through with Dragon now on the board once again.
Yeah, Hansama in a few waves, 4 waves time, will be able to get a little bit of the gold back against Super because his Cull is lower in terms of stacks, but Super will then regain that when his Cull does complete. MKOI starting up their second Drake, keeping this stacking on nice and early. Caps was back in base, didn't have the teleport. Comes back out with the Lost Chapter and the Fated Ashes, but not there in time. MKOI will take their second dragon, and it's an Ocean Soul for this game.
I mean, I know the gold lead isn't much, but really, KOI is playing this other game spectacularly.
Yeah.
Like, the only mistake that KOI has made so far is the fact that Mirwin died in top. And, like, he could have flashed, too. He could have traded flashes for flash. So, overall, like, KOI is... They really are getting the better of G2 in this early game. They're doing a spectacular job so far. 2 dragons to their name, held in 2.5 minutes. I expect them to look to try and contest that.
The thing is, G2 is just a little bit more disjointed. We see the tempo is slower than MKOI. MKOI are the ones always on first to the objective. And even when G2 are the ones starting the objective, then MKOI are the one that can always outmaneuver and outman them.
If you're G2, though, and you do lose Caps early on, is there a point there where you say, hey guys, it's fine. 2 items, we're really strong. We want them to attack into us anyway, assuming we can survive the initial burst and we're not too far behind to lose a member straight away. Is it okay if we just take our foot off the gas, let MKOI get the first couple of Drakes, let them play for this early game lead?
Ultimately, yes. I think that whenever I think of a Sivir, I always think of the 500 CS win condition,
Yeah.
right? You will always have some degree of scaling on your side, especially when paired alongside an Orianna. The question around conceding is, at what point are you conceding too much?
100%
right?
agree.
Because it's this third dragon that is really important, and that's why, especially if you are leaning more towards a scaling comp, ideally you can sneak a dragon away.
Yep.
Maybe you can get the first one, or maybe even the second one, just so that you're not forced into that third dragon fight. But KOI, they get to say, well, next dragon, if you let us have it, we'll then be on soul point, and we all know what happens is like you can leverage Baron, side lanes, all sorts of things by just threatening taking the soul, let alone whether you take it or not.
I do think, though, with Hansama having the Essence River, it's a lot easier now for the Sivir to just match the wave clear of Ezreal, and then G2 can kind of leave Hansama on his lonesome. As you see, they're now able to more cover caps, which allows them to actually play as aggressive as he'd really want. They might even look to dive Mirwin, but I don't think they'll have the time for it, as it's either Nico or Elyoya covering. I think it's Elyoya because I saw him queued.
I think it's Elio as well. On the minimap, you can see Alvaro is working his way down towards that bottom side as well. But while all of this was happening on the bottom side, Alvaro went in and placed 4 wards towards where the Rift Herald is going to spawn in that blue side jungle for G2. We've got 40 seconds before the Rift Herald. This gives you good flank opportunities with Jojo, with that teleport. Mirwin's teleport still not quite off cooldown, but almost there.
I love what you bring up there, Medic, because if you show the minimap once again, G2 had full control of both sides, but they don't have any of that sort of vision that MKOI was able to have. So it really goes to show that MKOI are the ones that are in control of the map. They're able to get deeper and better vision. And we'll see how it lines up for the Drake spawning in 2 minutes.
For the moment, Lebrov's still covering Caps, making sure that he can get the push out here. Caps has finished the Blackfire Torch. Summer and Super have cashed in their calls. Still a 400 gold lead down towards that bottom side for MKOI. Leads in top and in mid for G2, but nothing too consequential across the board. MKOI really their major lead from these 2 extra Drakes. Caps chunked out, flashed away from Mirwin, away from the shockwave. Skewmon was looking there as well. In the end, Mirwin has to burn a summoner, and only expended is Caps' shockwave. Alvaro may be caught. Tangle Barb's coming out. Skewmon holding on Summer going in with the On the Hunt. And now Alvaro has to flash away as well. The chase, the pullback with the dreaded return, pulls them back into the Tempered Fate. Pop Blossom out of Alvaro, but he goes hot before it can connect. Rift Herald secured for MKOI while this was happening, but G2 have set up perfectly for that third Drake.
I mean, G2 forcing fight after fight. They initially tried to dive Mirwin, they chased him through the river. Lebrov should have his E to get away to safety, but while all this was happening, Elyoya was taking the Heralds. I mean, yes, it's true, KOI was a little bit scattered in the sense that they were trying to slow G2 down in their bot lane dive, and that did result in G2 getting a kill. But I think KOI should still feel much happier, because now, with the dragon spawning in 50 seconds, they can use the Herald to help them gain prio in mid, and even if they can't get the dragon, they can do a lot of damage to that mid tier 1.
It's all about that Drake. If that play had happened 1 minute later and it led to G2 just picking up the Drake for free, it would have been completely fine. But now they still have to fight. The one upside is that Alvaro did use the flash, and the Pop Blossom will be down for
I think it's back up. I think it's back up around the time the Drake does spawn. Mirwin's flash as well has been burnt, so slightly harder for them to access the back line.
The only thing I'm noticing right now is that Jojo still hasn't completed his role quest. He actually moved out of mid lane quite early, and 16.5 minutes is very late to have your role quest not be completed. The Merc Treads upgrade is something that is extremely valuable for mid laners especially. But
there we are.
There we go.
Takes in at just as the Drake goes out. G2 using Broken Blade as that bouncer, not letting MKOI come in for the party at the Dragon Pit nightclub. Decimating smash out, there's the Rift Herald down as well. G2 back away with the magical journey. The dive into the backline via Mirwin. Heroes entrance in as well, but the shockwave will bring Mirwin back. Grim Deliverance goes in and they get the damage down. Jojo's going to be able to use the Rift Herald to get out. Did have to flash out to escape the play. One down for MKOI. The Drake, though, taken for them.
And MKOI, they get the prize. I love the turn from G2 onto the TP, but at the end of the day, if you lose the Dragon, it doesn't matter. It's MKOI now on soul point, and they hold all the cards.
I thought to myself that the play was too deep, and then I see in game in the all chat, Mirwin writes fan club at that ward, fan club meeting at the ward. all right, well.
Jojo going forward here. Pop Blossom out from Alvaro, doesn't connect onto Skewmon, and Elyoya on the chase as well, but they can't collapse quickly enough. Devitho did get the tower on the top side for MKOI. First turret of the game gives them an equal gold score. Skewmon here, cease and desist, Winds of War can try and dash out. The Dreaded Return will get the pullback, but he doesn't get the passive in time. A taunt on the Rob will lock him up, but the magical journey through the jungle will get him to safety. Super putting tons of damage down onto Hans Summer. The True Shot Barrage just goes wide.
I mean, I want to go back to that previous fight quickly, just because... Oh, Shockwave?
Elyoya should be okay here. No,
Oh,
does
he has
burn the flash.
Yeah, Caps, even though he was over the wall, another QW would have been enough to get that kill. So what we're seeing is G2 can definitely fight, especially when MKOI is coming into them. And the idea is, oh, collapse on the TP. If we shut him out of the fight, we'll have the numbers advantage, we can turn. But G2 did so much damage to that dragon. Koi basically just walked in and said, okay, I guess we'll take this, trade it for Mirwin's life, and we'll be fine with that. I mean, Mirwin still has a gold lead. He's still perfectly fine on the Ambessa. And now Koi are in a fantastic position. They're very close to second item completions across the board. They're at soul point, and they can use this soul to both threaten Baron, threaten side towers, basically do whatever they want.
Now G2 fighting from a losing position for a long time. Mirwin still no flash, will dash out of the Decimating Smash. Caps is here, no shockwave for him. The tower low though, Broken Blade can tank it for a while. Public Execution doesn't hit onto Caps, he dodges it. BB with the Soul Furnished Shield will not go for any more.
They don't have the damage. Mirwin is able to escape, doesn't even have to burn the flash, only goes down to half. And that's the TP invested from Caps. It is going to be Broken Blade just basing, opening top here, so not too much minions lost. And Caps is able to pick up the bot tower, but it's not the pick that you really wanted to try to... Because you really want to get a gold lead at this point, to make sure that this fourth dragon fight is not a flip, it's not a 50-50. Because if all Elyoya needs is to get into the pit, and he has a chance of winning the game on his own.
I find it really fascinating that both of these teams have kept the gold practically even for the whole game.
Dreaded Return's going to pull him back. The smite down there for the slow as well. Super trying to trade in a hero's entrance, but Super falls immediately to Skewmon, and now Hans Summer can begin to open up. Hans Summer with that Essence Reveal of Rob coming in from the side as well. MKOI trying to bolster their defenses, but Super's caught, and Jojo joins him in the grave.
And Nash is up. Super's mistake might have cost MKOI the game here, as it's 3 versus 5. Elyoya is not even going to try to enter. Caps might be caught.
Caps does have the flash season assist there for the first follow-up. Shockwave for the knockback, flash away from the Pop Blossom. Caps has a blast cone to get to, knocked up, blasts away over to the Crub Camp. Elyoya can still look for the chase. The Baron still being done by G2 while this happens. Elyoya will get the kill with the denting blows, but in exchange, a Baron for G2.
Such a huge mistake by Super, and the way in which he got caught out as well. I mean, in the river, isolated, I wasn't expecting Skewmon to all in, but he recognized his damage. He knew that he could take the 1v1. I mean, look back, I guess, what is the plan here from Super? I mean, he's just face-checking a brush. There's no blue buff for him to Q and steal. He ease away. He does have the flash available. He holds onto it to the very last second, and it converts into 2 quick picks.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was thinking there. I think Skewmon, he really knew once he hit that, is it the W?
Dreaded
that pulls
Return,
them in?
yeah.
That he could run down Supa and flash for that kill. Nicely played by him. And it is now the Nash for G2, but it's only on 4 members.
Yeah, I don't think that's the most consequential part of that last sequence.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Hans is now 1.3k gold ahead of Super.
Yeah.
So the Baron, on top of the fact that he was able to farm a bunch in that very small window, I think he may have even gotten a plate or 2 in mids. Like Infinity Edge done, the Essence Reaver, this Civet, we talked about the late game threat of the champion. Well, he's already very close to that point.
That's true. And only gets harder and harder for MKOI as he's building towards that LDR. I mean, the one thing that G2 really want to do is try to break this mid tower, but they have to worry about the soul spawning in 10 seconds. They have control of it, but MKOI trying to face check here with the Nico clones. It's going to be a fight for the Drake.
TP coming out from Broken Blade. Mirwin can just stay in top for longer here. You can give up this Drake. It's what getting 3 of them allows you to do. MKOI unlikely to fight this. Just let Mirwin have a bit of free time with that top lane tier 2. Get yourself a little bit more gold on that Ambessa.
And the added benefit is that you waste G2's Nash.
Baron time,
that was like 2 waves where G2 couldn't really pressure on. So Mirwin both gets some gold for himself, and you're not really going to see a whole lot of towers going for G2. I would love for G2 to be able to try to get this mid tower, try to group on it, but I'm not even sure if they have the time for it.
as Hansama might be caught. Uses the on the hunt, season desist coming out, the smite used as well, Temper Fate, Pop Blossom, Hansama's caught! And it's a party in the mid lane here for MKOI. Mirwin does join the party, Jojo tanking the tower for a while, LeBron going in with a magical journey, Skewmon has that cultivation of war, has the revive from the passive, Mirwin will fall first, a grim deliverance, Skewmon dives in, pulls back Elioya with the dreaded return, and now MKOI trying to help out their jungler, the taunt might be enough, Elioya flashes, but there's an unstoppable onslaught of G2 players, Broken Blade joins the fight, a magical journey in by LeBron as they look to chase down Super, can't land the cosmic binding, Skewmon, a dreaded return across the wall here, might catch out the Ezreal.
Super's playing with fire
He
here.
really is.
Oh, Skewmon does so much damage in these extended fights, and we're seeing the power of the G2 comp on full display, despite Hansama dying.
Elioya.
Whoa, how's Elioya?
He's just executing.
Yeah, he's executing.
Will Broken Blade flash?
No,
he will not. He could have flash Q'd, you know?
That's a pure solo Q play. Flash Qing there, man.
Hey, why not?
Wow.
Baus would do it.
So,
Yes.
I mean, what a series of events. KOI, they committed to the Hans fan club meeting in mid lane, right?
Yep.
Like, all 5 members diving this tower. They did the tech that you guys were talking about in draft, where they used the smite to make sure they connected. The Bard ultimate doesn't quite keep them alive, and the combo comes through. Great. But now the re-engage from G2. The rest of the members start to collapse on mid. They turn their attention onto Mirwin. The magical journey helping them keep within range of him. A nice binding connects from LeBron. Skewmon, the healing that he gets. Watch, he uses the clone from Nico to heal 250 HP. And then he continues on in the extended fight. The rest of KOI splits apart. And while they do get that initial pick in the extended exchange, it's G2 that walk away the victors.
You have to remember, when that Zehen has the passive stacked up, you are getting bonus attack damage for each of the stacks. And it then doubles the bonus when you're fully stacked. You get a huge amount of extra AD, up to 71% at level 18. And that Sundered Sky proc doing a lot of work for them overall. G2 now with a 3,000 gold lead, Jack.
And we saw the AD in that fight. Like, even though Hansama was dead, it didn't feel like they were missing any damage. So that's another threat that MKOI need to worry about. It's not just Hansama, it's Caps, Hansama, and Skewmon that they all really need to have their eye on.
The scary thing for KOI is that they just full committed to a dive. They killed the enemy AD carry, but the fight really didn't feel very quite.
To be fair, they were under the tower.
No, I mean, I understand that. I understand that. But you have to recognize that the game, up until this point, felt like it was KOI. They were doing absolutely everything right. And then that one mistake from Super, the entire momentum shifts. Of course, picking up a Baron will do that to you. But you can see how, at this level, a single mistake can be absolutely punishing. And G2 have swung this into a 3k gold lead. Now, that doesn't feel monstrous, but you have to look at where that gold sitting. Hansama has now finished his 3rd item. Skewmon quickly working towards his 3rd as well.
First time he's ever brought out the Zehen in his pro career. Obviously, he hasn't been out that long, so it doesn't have a huge amount of time to have played it, but does hark back to the good old days of Skewmon in solo queue. With Viego, I believe, used to be his real power pick, alongside the Nunu, of course.
It's one of those things where on a champion like this, it can be difficult to get, I would say, kill participation. He's 100%. He's been involved in absolutely every single kill that G2 has been able to find. And I mean, you've been seeing the damage that he's been doing in these fights. We have this high expectation for damage, but then we're going to look at the post-game damage results, and he's going to be one of the bottom ones.
Never
Yeah,
have
exactly.
I mean, Hansama, I mean, especially Super this game. He's going to be queuing Sion so much that it's going to be looking ludicrous.
Super also gone for the Endless Hunger here on the Ezreal, something we are seeing more
So
of
is
for that
Skewmon.
extra ability haste. Yes. We got red rings of death on either side of the rift.
All right, well, Dragon now spawning in 35 seconds. Both teams will be eyeing that objective up. But with the Baron available, this is the thing that we talked about. KOI can always threaten the cross map. So G2 have to be cautious in their approach. They want to still get some vision around this area. They'll drop the control ward. KOI recognize that the jungler's top side, so they're going to use this to move into the bot side and now start to threaten the soul themselves.
We're trying to sneak behind here. Will be spotted out by Control Ward. The True Shot Barrage clips onto Skewmon and onto Hansama. Good damage from Super on Lebrov there. TP coming in as Jojo joins the fray around this bottom side. Elioya snuck in. Lebrov there, face checking. Broken Blade still on the front line. Onslaught, unstoppable onto Alvaro. Forces him down to half HP. Elioya chased out by Lebrov. The electrocute proccing, not doing too much on that Bard. G2 have used Broken Blade's ultimate just to try and wrest control away from MKOI. The Drake is up, and MKOI still looking for the Soul.
Super's poke is going to be the most important part right now. It's all into Broken Blades.
Super slowed, Alvaro, 3-man pop loss from Hero's entrance here for the follow-up with the cease and desist, but the Tempered Fate is going to buy so much time here for G2. Can they get out? No, MKOI take 2. Skumon will get one in response to 4v3 in the favor of MKOI as Skumon has that passive build up, dives in, takes Elyoya. Skumon's coming back to life. A cultivation of war in the river for Skumon, dashes away. The magical journey will get Broken Blade to safety. LeBron does not have that same luxury. The dreaded return brings Super back. Skumon goes and gets another. Not quite enough healing. BB trying to trade onto Jojo. Will get him. Oh my God. Mirwin escapes a 5 for 4 in favor of MKOI.
Skumon, the hero of G2. He does so much damage on the Zahan.
Mirwin might have enough time.
Oh, is he going to get it?
I mean, I think he has the damage. Caps does have the TP. This is not the slowest dragon. I mean, it's even slower
pretty
moving
slow.
down. The TP. Caps, 2 seconds. 1 second. There it is.
Straight in. Mirwin.
Alvaro's
Backs
back on
away.
the map. When are the junglers? 1 second on Elyoya. He's going to start making his way towards the objective as well. Caps, 1 versus 2 right now. The Civet back on the map as well. We're going for round 2, boys.
Lebrov has ult now. Tempered Fate available if he wants to just slow Mirwin on this Drake. Elyoya is going to blast cone forward. Caps there as well. Alvaro looking for the flank position. Pop Blossom almost off cooldown. Elyoya goes in. Tempered Fate onto him and onto Caps. Alvaro tries to get in with the Pop Blossom, but he doesn't find anyone. Elyoya stunned up. Mirwin in the pit. Elyoya there as well. Goes in with the cease and desist. The public execution there for the follow-up. On top of it, Mirwin and Elyoya are dead. G2 will claim the Drake alongside it. You have to think they're second Baron of this game.
Unbelievable that this was the outcome. Koi was able to win the fight with a single member left standing. They decided to try and finish the dragon off, and it ended up being their undoing. We have to go back to the start of this fight.
And we're going back all the way. Alvaro starts it off with the 3-man ultimate. It's chained by the Galio ult, but the Bard ult buys so much time, and it's just a mess. Skumon flashes in and is able to finish up a kill, but Super kites it out, and then Skumon has to play it slow here. He gets Elyoya, he gets the revive, and he's healing so much in these fights. He's doing so much damage, and Lebrov puts the tunnel down before he dies, which allows Skumon and Broken Blade to get onto Super and take him down in the Triumph healing, and then they will take Jojo as well. The thing is, Koi had the advantage here. It was Skumon that died last.
My goodness. Okay, but I mean, like, so some major things happened there. First of all, Koi, they had a beautiful start to that fight. The wombo combo onto the 2 key carries was beautiful to see, but then Skumon single-handedly keeping G2 in the fight, making the fight a 5 for 4, and then Koi making the decision to stay on the dragon. Like, oh my goodness, how back and forth. And now it's G2 with the Baron. They denied the soul again.
Yeah, I mean, Koi, they have to be kicking themselves after that, because Skumon died so late in the fight that he would take so long to get to the Drake, so they could have played it slow.
Absolutely.
But they ended up rushing it, and it might have cost them the game. As G2 now, they're playing 2 lanes here on the Nash. They already got the bot tower, but they're looking for inhibs.
Still 4 waves on this Nash push. Double cannons down towards the bottom side. Triple cannons in mid, shepherded in by Broken Blade. He's the minion herder here. Jojo's going to try and answer it, but not too much damage on that Galio to do so. The Baron buff, the Winds of War will take away, but even with a full one, doesn't take out the cannons. G2 advance through bot. They'll take the bot inhib. MKOI trying to defend mid right now as Mirwin pushes in the top lane himself. We'll get an inhibitor tower for MKOI as recompense for G2's plate. The inhibitor unlikely to fall because Caps has backed away, but Elyoya looking for the play. Skumon waiting, saying, okay, come and fight me if you so dare. 2-level advantage for the G2 jungler.
Wonder if G2 was a bit scared of some sort of base race there, because they ended up not taking the mid tower. It was only 200, 300 HP, so I thought they'd play for both the mid inhib and the bot inhib, but it's still going to be an inhibitor for them. They're able to defend their top side, and now they can look to siege for this top tier 2 slowly.
GA now finished for Skumon. If you thought he was hard to kill before, I mean, he's going to be slightly harder to kill now. I wonder what procs first. Is it this passive or the GA? I would assume the passive.
I think it's the passive, obviously if it's fully stacked, and then the GA afterwards. Navoy Flicker Blades completed for Hans Summer. Super has got himself a Cyrilda's Grudge, so 4 items apiece on our AD carries. It's a large gold lead for Hans Summer, just sitting on that vampiric scepter for now.
There's no anti-heal though for MKOI, and there's so much healing on Skewmond, and now Vamp Scepter on Hansama as well.
Yeah, just that single Oblivion Orb for Alvaro.
Oh, you're right, there
the
is
Pop Blossom does connect, but still, it's not a lot.
It's not a lot.
Not a lot at all. And Alvaro has had that one really good Pop Blossom, has had a couple of Howlers, hasn't been able to get onto the backline as
an eye on him
effectively as
here.
he'd like. Elio going in with the Cease and Desist. There's Pop Blossom. Alvaro finds the 3-man stun. Caps goes golden. Broken Blade trying to dive onto the backline as well. Public execution coming out, but Caps uses Onyx to avoid it. Jojo on the backline. Hans Summer has so much time to open up. Jojo falls. MKOI, they shot their shots, but they were firing blanks. G2 continue to collapse. There's the passive. The cultivation of war out of Skewmon, but G2 with 5 can just neglect Super and Alvaro, can leave them in their fountains. They don't want to, they'll chase them out. The Nexus towers fall as G2 take game 1 of this best of 5.
And G2, they weathered the storm, they kited them back, they played it slow, they showed how you play into this full engage comp, and they showed strength in this game 1.
I mean, to me, like, this ultimately boiled down to a single mistake from Super. Getting caught in the river allowed this to happen, but let's hear from Shox and Skewmon.
Skewmon, is Zahen overpowered or are you overpowered?
I think Champ is kind of OP. I don't know like how I managed to like survive that long on that Drake fight, but yeah, I mean I think my Champ is a bit OP. Yeah.
Finn seems to think that you should have built Sterax or Death's Dance instead of Endless Hunger. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I mean probably in hindsight, like they don't have that much CC, and like most of the time they will never go on me, so I don't really care about their CC. So I think yeah, like more defensive item would have been probably better.
Right. But it worked out anyway. I'll let you go to your team. A lot of games still to go. I'll go over to the desk. You heard it. You're right, Finn, but damn, that was crazy.
Sure, on the paper I'm right, but off the paper, like he popped off in those fights. Those Endless Hunger stacks that he got from killing people give so much value. So I don't know if I'm right, because he really showed up.
It's true.
The sheer amount of ability haste and the performance there is going to have people in solo queue building that item no matter what, which they probably were doing anyway. But it's kind of scary when you're already that dominant and your only takeaway is, okay, 1 item difference, and then we're all good, perfect performance.
I want to talk about Dominoes.
You want to
the
talk about
Dominoes swap, because we were watching this game, right? And MKOI is in control for the most part. Supa has an unfortunate moment. And when we watched it, we said it might actually not lead to too much, because they still have Soul coming up. They still have probably positioning. They still are ahead. So how did the dominoes start to fall?
I mean, it just came down to MKOI played an amazing early game. Kinda, I'm not gonna say Navi-esque, but the fact that they beat Navi so hard and now playing the same kind of playstyle, play bot push, secure mid push, stack those dragons. But you have to see the plan through. You can't skip steps. You can't mess up right before the 4th dragon, because that is your slam dunk. That is when the final domino falls and you get that soul, that's when you win the game. But the fact that Supa gets caught out there, super unfortunate. And yeah, we can roll the clips out
and
later.
that is the most glaring moment where it feels like this big mistake, because you have to understand that this MKOI composition always has creative playmaking angles, but it's kind of on a timer, because you see how Zahen very quickly starts to feel like Thanos in these team fights, even if he's building Endless Hunger.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? When you get that extra kill on Zahen, it gives you that extra juice that you need to go crazy in these fights, and they just didn't have any options, because sure, if you dive to other people, Zahen will just kill the rest, and if you dive to Zahen, well, he can buffer that CC with his ult and just kind of ignore your engage, and then suddenly you have a Caps Orianna and a Hansama Sivir that hits you. So it was a tough moment to be in for MKOI. I think this engage was amazing. And if they make a little bit better decisions here, maybe Miram pushes out bot, they wait for the Vi to come back, and then they start this dragon, it would look differently.
And it's credit to MKOI that they were able to find these angles, because you get later into the game, if you're fighting these grouped up 5v5s, it's really hard to pull off this MKOI composition. Yes, you have Vi and Bessa. Last year we would say GG draft over, but they had a Bard. They had a Sivir with a spell shield. It is so hard for them to actually find a target that they want to go onto. You ult that Zahen, he's jumping right in on top of you and he's beating the hell out of you. There weren't good choices. They still found good angles, but it is that single misstep that's going to haunt them, because if you're playing that game with an Ocean Soul, a lot of the struggles in late game just get so much easier.
I also think context matters a lot. Supa gave an interview at the beginning of the year where he said that he didn't feel like he played his best at Worlds. We had the debacle a couple of times with the was he in shop or whatever, he was not paying attention or whatever it was, he was out of position a few times, right? And I think when I say that because I watched a video they released before the playoffs where they said we want to be really tight on these mistakes, we do not want to make these mistakes as a team, right? And I don't want to put it on someone, just one person. I want to come back to what you said, Finn. They have so much discipline in the early game. They do everything correct, but then they throw it away.
Yeah, I mean, Supa will beat himself up, but knowing Supa,
he played so well
with
too
the
in the
confidence he has, sometimes you will have these moments. You can't have it both. You can't have a player that always steps up, look for these 1-1 plays, and never makes a misstep like this.
True.
So I mean, it's all about how he bounced back.
Yeah,
after
the aggressive arcane shifts forward we saw in the jungle fight. We saw the bot lane play where he went on in Labrov. This is the good side of Supa aggression. Tempered. And this wasn't a play where he made like an over-aggressive move or underestimated his damage. It was just messy. It was just bad. And so I don't want the takeaway for him to be, I need to back off, I need to play more passive. No, he was pushing his limits super well in the early stages of the game. He just got greedy, I feel like wasn't focused in that moment, and it cost him dearly. But if we can't, I want to talk about the draft, because I think there's something that's going to come up more and more as we go further in this series, because MKOI very clearly had a game plan. You highlighted it. We talk about the dive composition overall. We see the Zehen on the opposite side, and picking this Zehen has a price for G2. Caps got no support in the early game. MKOI were able to focus him, and that's something that they can try to repeat. The downside is, if MKOI draft another composition like this, in a situation where Skewmon is going to scale, and admittedly there's not a champ like Zehen that's going to do it quite so simply, they need to be clean. Because the Zehen didn't get to participate much. He's stealing red while Oyoyo's taking dragon. He's not really ganking mid. He doesn't do anything. And then suddenly, he's unkillable. He's unstoppable because of that small mistake. So I really want to see if MKOI keep focusing mid lane, or if they're going to try something similar for Oyoya, where he gets to play selfishly.
Yeah, it makes sense, because we were also watching that with like a feeling of impending doom, right? When it started tilting a little bit in the favor of G2, or maybe it was equal, because you think they have so many reps in this exact situation with Capson or Orianna, like not even counting the fact that that Zehen was going in overdrive. And yeah, you just have to be more exact than you have to be against probably any other team in LEC.
Yeah, and I also want to highlight something that early game, as we see here in the stats, look how much Elyoya and Alvaro was playing. I felt like that was kind of disappearing throughout the end, because when you're always on the same page with your support and jungle, every play becomes so simple. But when people start making solo plays, that's exactly when MKOI were starting to kind of lose their touch a little bit. So I want to see MKOI come in with the same discipline they had in the early game and make sure in every single play, there's 5 players. Every single time a play happens, everyone has a job. And I feel like when they lose touch of that mindset, that's when things go wrong for them. So looking back, cycling ahead, looking for next game, they need to find their unity again. You are not alone. Supa, you don't need to go for the solo vision. If Alvaro and Elyoya is involved in their plays, they look like the better team.
Yeah, I think so too. There won't be a Zehen. That's a big one. And also the fact that this is a lesson learned, and this is a best of 5. I do think Movistar KOI is a team that has resilience. I would be really stupid to count them out after just one game.
I completely agree, but I think for G2, you're feeling comfortable. You picked the Sion, you exposed yourself to a counter pick, you were fine. You picked a composition that could struggle, that could fall apart in the early game. Caps got, you saw the jungle percentage, Caps got so much attention, he was basically even for the vast majority. They can keep taking a step back, taking these riskier blind picks, and just choosing for comps that are going to be more steady, more safe, more reliable, because MKOI have not shown us that they can execute consistency at the level to kind of bring it across the finish line. And if they make more missteps with comps like this, G2 just get to keep bringing in these wins.
You still have hope?
I still have hope. I don't think you can watch that game and lose hope for MKOI, because you saw the flashes of brilliance. You saw what they're so good at. You also saw the bad, but I do think this draft was exquisite by G2, and I want to see how they circle back for next game.
That was a really great game, and it was a really close game. Don't make the mistake of thinking G2 just ran away with it easy peasy. It took a lot for G2 to
Yeah,
find
it was awesome to watch, and the good thing is, it's a best of 5. So hopefully we get 4 more games of this. We'll be right back with Game 2 after this.
Brother, let me try.
Wait. Brother, let us break this instead. Brother.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
What is this, brother?
Perfection.
On another level, through the crowd, yeah, I'm feeling so supreme. Feeling so no one above me.
A new champion. Welcome to my shop. You'll need the right build. Choose wisely, because every upgrade brings you closer to the next level. So tell me, how will you level up?
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you. Gamers, hybrid workers, artists. Backing your every move.
Will be able to get in and steal away this red while avoiding the damage on Bravo. Double penetrators, but still the autos coming out of Super.
Coming. I can loot. They can get ult. Yeah, he's ulting. Nice. Nice. Good. Put me. I have ult in 30. Keep fighting. It's fine. It's really fine. We're winning really hard. Go Nash, look back. Look Nash from now. Yeah, go Nash. She's gonna ult, guys. You good troll, you good troll. I have TP, kill, she will do smite. Kill, Embrace ult. Kill, Buy first. Nice. I'll come for the smite. Nice, Dragon. Guys, go Baron.
And as we watch the defining fight, or one of the defining fights from the first game, the question for MKOI is, can they bounce back in game 2? Obviously, where I'm fearless, we're going to see the most fearless we've seen in quite a while, actually. If we go at least to game 4, we have had 1 3-game series so far here in LEC Versus. 2?
I think. 3? Oh, no. Yeah, 3. We had 3.
Yesterday it was back-to-back 3-game series.
Yeah. I will say, I was kind of casting a different League of Legends IP yesterday, so didn't manage to catch up on all of the games, especially considering none of those teams are playing today.
True. Yeah. What I will say is I very much agree with Finn that I would not lose hope in MKOI at all.
Yeah.
It felt like that a single mistake from Super put them in a much worse position. And I think, honestly, like, I think back at that Dragon fight, once they had 3 versus 2 and the Bard portal had come through, if they just gone Dragon.
That's true.
Like,
they had a lot of...
That's what I mean, right? Like, so I think that just a couple of poor decisions from MKOI, and that game could have looked very differently. So, in my opinion, these 2 teams are very evenly matched. We'll see how things transpire in game 2. Ultimately, I liked the plan from MKOI, and I liked what we saw from them in the early game execution, but let's see what they bring us here in game 2.
For me, it's interesting because I feel like it showed a lot of their weaknesses that they had in the regular season. A little bit cockiness that caused Super to just randomly get caught out. A little bit too over-eager in a lot of the fights, which made them, you know, lose the advantage that they'd already gained in the first place. And I do think that they can maybe come down a little bit calmer in game 2 and a little bit more prepared, because often in a game 1 of a best of 5, the nerves are quite high, or a bit jittery, and everything is a little bit rusty in a way. So I could definitely see that MKOI can bounce back and continue building on that great early game that we saw in game 1.
Especially when you're playing to be in the finals in your home event in Barcelona here for MKOI. You get to skip the first 2 days, you just get to prep, you get to watch the other teams play, and then just meet up in that battle on Sunday. MKOI chose first pick. G2 have been put on the blue side, or have chosen blue side out of their side selection once again. With an Anivia, a Yanara, and a Mundo ban from MKOI, a Pantheon, and a Azir, and a Varus from G2. It will be a Ryze first pick for Jojo.
I have to imagine Talia will be the response here from Caps. He's not really the type to go for the Casio counter pick. He usually prefers to have something that has, well, better wave clear and just a little bit more roaming around the map. We'll see if that is the direction he decides to go for. It's going to be the Rumble for Broken Blade once again. He had a fantastic Rumble game in his last performance. I want to say it was against KC. Yeah, it's going to be the Hot Pot combo once more with the Jarvan locked in right alongside it.
What type of hot pot is it going to be? Is it going to be spicy, or is it going to be one of those more, you know, just a few herbs in there? Can Broken Blade get far enough ahead of Mirwin when Mirwin does have a counter pick on this Rumble to really get those that water bubbling inside the Cataclysm? MKOI likely to look towards their jungler, with G2 having already selected theirs. Can also pick top as an answer to this Rumble. Don't need to reveal anything on the bottom side of the map as of yet.
This time they're putting Mirwin on the tank. It's been a kind of tried and true tested method for MKOI recently. Just putting Mirwin more on this scaling safe pick, and it allows then Olyoya to play a little bit more of a carry, and we'll see what he has into this G2 lineup. But no, MKOI, they go for the ADC, they go for the Caitlyn.
Interesting.
So they get some mobility into the Jarvan. The one kind of downside of playing Caitlyn into Jarvan is that as Caitlyn, you really want to be playing very far up in the lane. You want to push tower, and Jarvan's a great ganker. So Skewmon this game, I would love to see him try to do some proactive plays early game around this bot side, because most likely Hansam and Labrov are going to be playing a losing matchup.
But with the Ornn pick, MKOI can also say, yeah, let's just send Olyoya down towards that bottom side. Ornn can survive on its own. Mirwin's played it twice this split, has only died once, a 26 KDA, 100% win rate on the pick against Vitality and Na'Vi. The Talia locked in, as you say, Betty, not the Casio there for Caps, and we move into the second phase of bans. I do like the idea of trying to get push through your bot side, knowing you're going to be receiving quite a lot of pressure. Oh.
They banned Elise. Okay. So
Elise Caitlyn?
Yeah, they're worried about that all-in combo. I wanted to say Jhin for Hansama, but he's not really a Jhin player. And also into Ornn, I don't know if I love it. It seems that, okay, well, Koi is still worried about it, so they're going to ban it away.
I mean, Jin would be the best pick by far, so you have the right instincts there for sure. And I do think though with the game 1,
Corki or next best?
Yeah, I think Corki.
Aphelios would be my only other one.
I think Aphelios laning phase pretty hard. I would say Sivir, but Sivir he already picked in game 1.
What about Jinx, maybe?
Jinx, we saw it played by Carsey. The thing is, it's quite the losing lane, but you do kind of scale.
Ashe.
Ashe is decent, yeah.
They could do an Ashe Seraphine bot lane. I don't think that's terrible.
I could see that.
Xayah Rakan.
Could also do that. That's very G2.
Yeah.
Pretty hard lane, though.
A very difficult lane, 100%, but you know you're going to get pressure anyway. Like, the Rakan obviously doesn't do a huge amount early game. You only have to pick one of them. You get to counter-pick support here for G2.
The Nami ban by MKOI. Kind of targeting both Corki Nami and Lucian Nami there. And just removing some sustain.
That makes sense.
The thing is, there's so many range supports taken out because both the Bard and the Nico were played in game 1 and now 3 range supports banned.
So you're saying Zeri Yuumi is what we should look at?
Or Ashe Seraphine.
Kalista Renata. Just go all in. Is the Ashe. Good call on that, Betty. We'll see what G2 want to put alongside. It's really dictated by what support MKOI decide to go for.
Bring Heimerdinger back.
My goodness.
That would be crazy.
Not Yarnan would did, Betty. It's not Yarnan
Well, I mean,
Woodid.
I always think of the 2022 Worlds, the Deft bot lane. Oh, I've forgotten what support played with Deft.
Beryl.
Beryl, yeah.
Beryl, yeah.
When, come on, it's
I know,
it's a
that's why it's
Heimerdinger
bad.
support.
Yeah,
What support is it going to be?
My bad. That's on me. All right, what's Koi going to go for the jungle? It's looking like a Xin Zhao. So a very stock standard front to back from Koi. I kind of just prefer G2's front to back though. I feel like that it just kind of has more options. I feel like it's really hard for Ryze to play into this draft. Like you've got the long range from the Ashe, the poke from the Talia, and then when you get in close range, like the ulti from the Rumble can do a lot.
It's a Braum, no?
I mean, they take away the Seraphine from the Ashe.
Okay. I mean, I understand the takeaway, but I feel like Braum here, although you are ceding a lot of lane pressure, Braum into Ornn, into Seraphine, even into Xin Zhao when he's jumping forward, you get those concussive
But isn't
blows
Braum
on.
just kind of miserable into range supports in general?
100%, yeah,
pretty tough
but Braum is
matchup.
really strong at the moment.
It's good. I mean, yeah. I feel like I'm hearing some bias here. I mean, it's good into the top side.
26.3. It was 26.3, you're right.
It's dispatch, yeah.
Sorry, Jack, we totally interrupted.
Yeah,
Betty and I were on a pedantic streak there. We totally interrupted you.
It's all
Jack,
good.
give us the actual analysis.
I mean, Braum is pretty rough into the bot lane matchup, as you say, Betty, but it is good into the top side. But I think the Nautilus, Nautilus Talia, really good combo, and it gives a little bit more engage. And it also doesn't give too much like cleanse or Merc Treads value, because Nautilus doesn't really have any CC that you can do much against. So I like what G2 has built here, but I like both drafts, to be honest. I think I'm favoring MKOI because they have so much tankiness in the Ornn, in the Xin Zhao, and they have that Seraphine that will scale up and do so much later on.
I guess for me, the things that concern me is Zin's dashing into Talia. I think that Caitlyn Seraphine is a bot lane combo. They do have a lot of poke, but I feel like the strength of Ashe is her slowing self-peel both synergizes nicely with the Seraphine, which... how reliable do you think it is to do the root into trap combo?
If you get the empowered Seraphine E, then it's pretty reliable, I'd say.
Okay, yeah.
And especially with the ultimate as well. There's no cleanse on Hansama as we enter game 2 here. I think there's a lot Alvaro can definitely do, but it's not as easy to execute Ashe Seraphine, as you say, Betty.
Okay, fair. Well, let's see what they bring to the table. Koi had a fantastic early game. It didn't result in a huge early gold lead, but the things that they did do was, first of all, put pressure down onto Caps. We know that G2 has Caps as a centerpiece in terms of their early game control and advantage, and putting him behind is definitely a step in the right direction. They also had masterful control over all of the early dragons, and I think that throughout the first 20 minutes of the game, it was non-stop pressure from Koi onto G2.
LeBron going for the Oracle's Adoration instead of that warding trinket to start things off here. Wants to try and control these bushes as much as possible. You don't want to give Seraphine control of that middle bush because she walks out, auto attacks you, walks back. It becomes really hard for you to trade effectively. You can also use the beat drop, that E or the high note to get the extra damage down. He's still losing the pressure. Hansama did take a big chunk early on, so Super and Alva are doing a good job of forcing Hansama and Lebrov to respect their power in this early game.
Really good trades from MKOI here. They hit all their key spells while dodging the Nautilus hook, and you see these Alvaro E's are continuing to land. And that means that they're going to get full control of bot here. I think MKOI are looking to kind of just repeat the early game from game 1, try to leverage this bot prio to stack Drakes, and have a nice, stable early game. One crucial thing about this game is that both mid laners, rather, neither of them have teleport. So if Caps dies to an early gank like we saw last game, we can lose a lot of minions and be put really far behind.
Same is true to Jojo. If he is caught out early on, perhaps with an early gank from Skumond on this Jarvan, it's very tricky for him to play. It's been a while since we've seen Alvaro on this Seraphine pick, all the way back in 2021 when he was playing for the MKOI Kiwis in Tier 3. It's been a hot minute for the guy. Don't think a Seraphine is something that we would usually associate too much with the player, but one of the best supports in the league, often challenging for that position as the best support in the league, has tried his hand at everything and has been pretty successful at all of it.
Absolutely. Bit of information going to be garnered. Hook being threatened. Elyoya spotted out. Will that hook come through from LeBron? Yes, it will.
Lands the root onto Alvaro. Hansama did get slowed by the beat drop. Skumond here first. Lots of damage onto LeBron.
Super! Holy! He puts the trap down and then does the EW combo to get a trap behind Lebrov, which he then chains with the Q to take Lebrov down. And that was some clean Caitlyn mechanics.
And I think he also just stacked a headshot passive too. I think he got 3 headshots off in that skirmish. Like, as I was wondering where the third one was coming from, and I'm pretty sure it was just him building one up.
The first trap, then the E, then the second trap.
Then the second W, yeah.
Is there a cooldown? I didn't realize that there was 2 traps. Okay, my bad.
You can stack them. Yeah, there is a cooldown, it has to replenish, but it's similar to Heimer's.
Okay, we'll see it here. So he gets the first trap off of the CC from Alvaro. Then
trap.
He does EW combo, and you can cast the W while you're Eing. And the second trap is behind Lebrov.
Okay, clean, man. That was clean.
It's very nice.
Well played there by
Man's
Super.
taking names, and because of that, MKOI able to get more push down towards this bottom side. Already almost an 800 gold lead for Super on this Caitlyn. That battle in the bot lane, one we had always wanted to watch in this series. Was important in game 1, but more about the scaling here. We see Hansama and Super battling out for early game control.
Now, of course, this graphic doesn't include the game 1 performances from both of these teams, but you recognize... Oh, hang on a minute.
Super caught out. He's going to have to use the cleanse, but Hansama with the slows. Heal comes out. Hansama has to back away. LeBron will be able to get the kill. Alvaro forced away as well.
That might be a caster curse and a half as LeBron. Does he have the hook?
Flashes for it. I think he was looking for the flash staggering blows there, but just not quite off cooldown.
Tried to get the auto reset, but Alvaro was able to flash out, but Super ends up dying, and the gold lead is still in his favor, but it swung slightly back into Hansama.
I mean, the craziest thing about that was, had Super based yet, or were they both just sitting on a Dawn's Lake?
No, he was still sitting on the gold,
I was going to say, because obviously if he'd had an opportunity to go back to base, that wouldn't have happened. The item differential would have made it, but now it's Hans that gets to come back with a BF sort as well. So just like that, a nice hook connects from Lebrov. And
prison. Good flag and drag over the wall there by Skumond. Sometimes can be tricked right at the edge of the flag and drag range. If you put your flag down, it can be pushed over the wall just outside of the Dragon Strike, I think it's called, the Q.
I've been victim to that many a time.
But I feel like this game, it highlights the character of Supa. Do really cool, crazy play, and then immediately make a mistake to kind of lose the lead.
Was it a mistake? Because I'd have to look at the state of the lane, but the thing about like Nautilus and a hook champ...
It's hard to say because we were in the replay, but for sure when you kill the enemy support, you should be able to have a base timing before Lebrov gets back. That would be my criticism, that they weren't able to base.
So I think part of it was Elyoya came down and they were looking for a dive on Hansama before Lebrov could get back out. And then after they looked for the dive, Lebrov was already there and they were like, oh, we need to get another wave in, try and get the push in to make sure that we have an advantageous recall timing. Didn't get it, and because of that, didn't have the gold spent. As we see both the junglers down towards this bottom side once again. Still a lead for Super. Up by about 200 gold.
Very far here.
That he is. Flag and drag into the hook. Alvaro, no escape. A volley from Hansama. And the arrows from his quiver find their mark.
And Alvaro, I think he's not used to playing such a squishy champ like the Seraphine. He's not respecting the hook range, and as soon as they get on top of him, he dies so incredibly fast. The Seraphine is so squishy.
I mean, for me, though, we've been seeing Alvaro play way more range support this split. We've seen Nami, we've seen Lulu, and him bringing up the Seraphine isn't too much of a surprise. The biggest surprise, knock back.
Onto Caps. Jojo going in with the Ghost. Spell Flux won't be enough. Counter Ghost used. So both the mid laners will be able to retreat. Lebrov here, just shadowing Caps. Slightly step forward to get that cannon. and Caps will be able to retreat.
Okay, quite different from what we saw in game 1. A lot of skirmishing happening, but ultimately it's G2 that's getting the better end of this. We look at the AD carries and that goal difference has now been nullified. Hansama getting a kill for himself onto Alvaro. And really the thing is, to me, is that like, he's not respecting the Jarvan in that play. I guess he really wasn't expecting the Jarvan to just come over the wall and all in him.
Yeah.
Because the chain combo CC, like it's ruthless.
You guys mentioned the teleports not being on these mid laners early on. Lebrov stays around to hold the wave for Caps. We saw Jojo actually stopping his recall, deciding now he is going to complete it, but doesn't have the option just to TP back into the lane to reset that wave state. So he's going to lose some of the wave. Hansama still has flash. Chada Cristalawa going on to Alvaro. The hook going between the uprights, but Alvaro without flash and only with a heal will be spotted out. Ranger's focus from Hansama is enough to secure the kill.
And MKOI, they're trying to go for too much at once here, but Jojo's here.
Hansama still has flash. He's going to use it to get across the wall. Ace in the hole. Lebrov can block, but he doesn't. Jojo flashes forward as well. Caps not moving from the mid lane means that Lebrov here is all on his lonesome. He'll go down. MKOI claim 2.
A much needed roam from Jojo to get involved in the map. This bot lane was getting so violent, and they needed it to go the way of Koi. So involving the Rise was a much needed play. In a 2 versus 1, Hans basically able to push them back. The arrival of Lebrov swinging the bot lane 2v2 in their favor. Alvaro drops, but then Jojo arrives.
Yeah, and a really intelligent roam here by Jojo, because we saw that mid lane was frozen. So Jojo just says, I don't care about the mid wave. You guys are fist fighting on both. I will move. Even if Lebrov blocks the ulti, Jojo's still going to finish Hansama. And with that, it's 2 kills going for the way of MKOI.
And Jojo, even though he lost that wave, gets himself a kill. Now has a 450 gold lead over Caps on this Taliyah. Catalyst of Aeons and the tier already stacking up for him.
Don't forget that Jojo had already built up about a 15 CS lead in the matchup as well. And we talked about it in game 1, but I do think that Jojo is the guy that does push Caps like this in the laning phase. He's not afraid to play in your phase. He's not afraid to find his own leads. And also it helps that Elyoya is ready to cover him, which we've seen a couple times already in this game. Even if he doesn't gank, he's just in the vicinity to try and put some pressure down onto Caps.
We haven't looked much up towards the top side. Broken Blade on this Rumble, as expected, has developed a lead over Mirwin. About 700 gold his advantage. Now with a completed Leandries, where Mirwin doesn't have the Kaenic Rookern yet, it's going to be hard for Mirwin until he gets that first real, sizable magic resist item to deal with this Rumble, at least in the lane. Also, knowing that Skewmond is on this side of the map because he's just taking the grubs means that Mirwin does have to play a little bit more passive. Elyoya using that time, though, to come down towards the bottom side. Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Ignite on Super, he'll cleanse it away. Lebrov going to fall.
Lebrov flat.
Yeah, he did, and immediately got knocked up. I think he face planted on that Kit Kat, but wanted to take a quick break, it seems.
It felt like G2 knew that Elyoya were there because they were like respecting, and Skewmon is invading their top side. But I think Lebrov thought if he lands the hook on Supa, they can trade 1 for 1. And they did do a lot of damage, so if he was actually able to land it, maybe it would have been a different story. But it ends up being MKOI just being able to crash the wave, and now it's Supa with a near 1,000 gold lead.
It's just been a fist fight in the bottom lane, swinging between the 2 AD carries. At the end of the day, both AD carries in a good spot for their respective teams. Of course, it is Supa that has that early advantage. He's actually sticking around for another wave as Broken Blade drops the ulti top.
Mirwin here, even with the Flame Spitter and those Electro Harpoons, can tank up that damage. Has enough magic resist to do so, but will continuously be chunked out. Elyoya coming up here. With Drake up in a minute's time, Broken Blade might not think about the fact that Elyoya could be there. There's also the possibility of Jojo moving up with the Realm Warp, but immediately runs back. A lot of pings coming out from G2, and Broken Blade respects the fact that perhaps there's someone there. Alvaro going to get caught out by Skewmon with that initial knockup. Alvaro does have the flash, will use it. Also holding on to that Encore. Flash under tower for Alvaro.
He's dead.
Yeah, that means Super's on his way. And Jojo is kind of eyeing perhaps a Realm Warp across. Beat drop. There's the Dredge line out, and Hansama secures the kill. 30 seconds on the Drake. Alvaro will be up in about 13.
So we're just taking it in turns, trading support kills. Yeah. I mean, look, 3-1-1 for Hans, 3-1-1 for Super, 1-3-1 for Lebrov, 0-3-3 for Alvaro. The supports have not had a lot of fun in this game, I would say.
Yeah, we're contributing to both the Nautilus Death Fund and the Skarner Relief Fund by killing the Seraphine as much as possible.
Dragon now in 8 seconds. With the numbers advantage, G2 have position, but it looks like after investing so much in getting that kill, they want to get the reset off. The Storm Razor completed as well for Super, puts him in a nice spot to contest this trade.
Skewmon just hit level 9. Elyoya yet to hit level 8.
That's a great point, yeah.
Really efficient pathing by Skewmon here as he looks for Jojo, forces the Ghost. Drake is up, and Lebrov is a bit delayed, so it's going to be MKOI starting that up. Oh, yeah, they've started it up. But G2, they want to contest.
Gonna look for this. The Hex Tech Drake getting the slows. TP behind here by BB. No equalizer for him. Arrow's going to hit onto Elyoya. Crescent Guard out, capped with a seismic shove back, and the shield from the Locket still rooted. A volley over the wall will kill off Alvaro. Elyoya falls second, and now Jojo tries to join the fray, but immediately is knocked up. The chase continues for Skewmon, and Super, the last man standing, but he'll burn where he stands. BB cremates him under the tower as G2 clean up the fight.
And it's BB with the teleport that makes the difference. Mirwin doesn't have it to match it, so even though it starts off quite good for MKOI with caps going way too deep, it still doesn't matter. It's a 4 versus 5. BB is here and he is burning them down. Mirwin tries to push in this top side, but it's going to be the Drake going to G2 and 4 kills for G2.
I think that Jojo just arrived late to the fight as well. He did have the round warp, but he ultimately round warped to his death. G2 recognized that they could create the numbers advantage even quicker than their opposition, and their collapse was so fast the KOI didn't really have a good response. That is now a 2.3k gold lead going the way of G2. They have 2 dragons to their name. They have the grubs as well. Everything just looking G2's way here in game 2.
BB on this Rumble, 1,000 gold ahead. Mirwin didn't have teleport, so wasn't going to be able to join that play anyway, but I remember the days when Broken Blade on Rumble, it was just something we didn't see. Like last year, Rumble and Jace, we asked for it over and over again. Now we've seen him on it a couple of times this split. This is the 4th. There's 1, 2 of those. Alvaro with the heal, Broken Blade flashing forward, auto's enough. He went into the danger zone, overheated, and still manages to get himself out. Super has to cleanse the arrow that came from the mid lane from Hansama. And Broken Blade should be able to back away here. Maybe we'll stay around. He is on a ward. BB has the equalizer in 2 to just look to clear this wave. Lebrov comes across. Super's going to get slowed. The flash available for the Caitlyn. The Cataclysm 2 for Skewmon. Puts him in the cage. Flash away. Flash forward. Skewmon finds another. G2 taking control of the game. Wind becomes lightning. And Skewmon not caught by it. Emotes on MKOI as he walks away.
G2 are just getting everything here. So Yoya maybe wants to try to get something going, but there's just nothing left in the tank. Super and Alvaro both end up falling, while Hansama is just able to hit mid tower for free.
And Skewmon and Lebrov were on vision. They knew that they were there. MKOI knew it, they thought they could react, but losing their AD carry too quickly and now losing the gold leads that they had developed. Only 300 gold separates Jojo and Super from Caps and Hansama in totality. And on the rest of the map, all I'm seeing is blue.
I mean, it's 5 deaths for Alvaro in this game. He has been the target, his positioning has not been great at times, and G2 have consistently tried to punish him, and they've ultimately succeeded.
I mean, Alvaro was worth 120 gold in that last death, so he's not having the greatest game thus far, and it's just the problem when you fall behind on this Enchanter support.
Yeah.
You have so little levels, you have so little resistances, so it's so easy to just continue getting farmed and killed on repeat. Whenever Skewmon has that ultimate, whenever BB has the equalizer, or even Lebrov just with a hook, it's so difficult for Alvaro to actually have impact up until he gets 2-3 items much later in the game.
I mean, it's why we see hook champions into Enchanters so often, right? Because of how effective they can be. Like, oh, I landed 1 piece of CC on you, you'll probably die.
Kill him on repeat.
Yeah, exactly. So once the snowball starts, it becomes very difficult to stop. The good news for KOI is they will secure the first tower of the game, so that's a nice injection of gold onto Jojo. Ulti committed onto Elyoya.
Yeah, Lebrov with the death shots there for the follow-up. Flag and drag out, but with a hook from the dredge line. Elyoya now needs to get out. He'll flash, but he's still caught with a harpoon. We're hooking and we're fishing. The harpoon finds the whale in the jungle. Elyoya falls. Jojo's going to chase out Caps. The overload not connecting, and Skewmon already back here with that empowered recall from the Rift Herald can look for Jojo too. Weaver's wall forward from Caps. Jojo trying to trade in. The seismic shove will knock him back. A flag and drag to follow up. A realm warp. Jojo flashes and escapes. Fancy feet from the Rise. Gets out alive.
Credit to Jojo, just barely getting away with his life. He has to commit the flash, but my goodness, G2 are not slowing this game down, and I think a lot of the credit deserves to go to Skumon once again. We think back to last year's summer, it was he who earned the finals MVP. It was he who got the better of Elyoya in that finals. After Elyoya came into the finals, considered to be the better jungler in that matchup, this man is stepping up today as Broken Blade now the target.
Calling the Ram, Broken Blade locked in the alcove. Elyoya here to keep him in. Flame Spitter out. Elyoya has no ult, but I don't think Broken Blade has the damage to work through both of these right now. They dodge away from the Harpoon. Wind becomes lightning. Broken Blade still getting chased out. No equalizer for him too. In the end, should die even with the scrap shield. Camps comes across. Mirwin flashes forward, dodges the seismic shove, and will escape the tower's clutches. But the chase perhaps can continue. A TP out from Mirwin. Skumon looking for the flank as well. The arrow. Elyoya dodges. Alvaro and Super on their way up here to make sure that Elyoya can extricate himself from a sticky situation.
Just barely. Broken Blade not able to get out there. A nice TP from Mirwin. He knew he was being collapsed on by not just Caps, but Skumon and Hansama with the arrow as well. So it ends up being just a free kill for them, and Elyoya gets a little bit of revenge at least. Although you can see how hard it is for MKOI to make any plays right now. Took so much just to take down BB.
Didn't get the tower either. These two teams met in the upper bracket twice last year, in spring and in summer. 3-1 on both occasions to G2. On the first, MKOI were able to come back through the lower bracket, win the finals in the second. It was G2 who brought home the title. That victory versus MKOI. It
was a 3-0 in the summer, wasn't it? Yeah.
In the summers. In summer. But yeah, 3 times 3-1. 3 times 3-1, 1 time 3-0 last year.
Oh, Skumon super space checking again.
There's no way this is a fight though, right?
Yeah, it's not a Zehen. Jarvan does have damage, but we're not looking at like Collector Eclipse Jarvan or something. It's Sundered Sky Black Cleaver.
Yeah, that still hurts, but probably not enough to 1v2 their bot lane just yet. Third Dragon of the game goes the way of G2, and in game 1, we gave KOI so much credit for how they executed the early game, but G2, I mean, they were willing to scrap against KOI, and they've just been getting the better of them. That single fight around the Dragon really cementing their lead, where they got 4 kills for 1. A tower will fall. Top tower, I think, getting pretty low as well, as Caps is left by his lonesome up there. Observers showing us on the bottom right of your screen.
LeBron might be caught here, though.
Beat drop goes wide. LeBron is able to dredge line out. There was the possibility of a CC chain. You have the snap trap to follow up, and you have Elyoya coming in from the side. But because the beat drop doesn't connect, we're in the wrong BPM. Not my tempo for the rest of MKOI. Broken Blade spots Jojo. LeBron's coming across as well. Has that depth charge. Jojo trying to trade in. Elyoya on his way to try and help out his mid laner. Equalizer down. Jojo caught with the dredge line. Elyoya dashes forward, flashing in by Broken Blade, as Jojo, with an encore from Alvaro, is able to find the kill.
I mean, Jojo's doing his best in the situation that they've got, and the support comes in at just the right time. Now Super caught out.
Skumon going for the chase here, and arrow goes out. Super has to flash a flash cataclysm from Skumon, and he lands the lance to secure the kill.
He's not
Alvaro
done.
now on his lonesome. There's a flash for LeBron, no flash for Alvaro. Flag and drag dredge line, and once again it's hook, line, and sinker as Alvaro falls.
And Skumon, what a beast! You can't even blame Super for that one. He wasn't face checking. He was just trying to play an ADC. But Skumon just runs him down. He outplays and plays it so well, and that allows him to then rotate the bot as well. But let's watch Jojo. Some fancy feet once again here. He kites BB out and then uses the Realm Warp to create distance and get himself close to Elyoya. He knows that he can't get cancelled because Lebrov is too far, and Lebrov really wants to CC Jojo with the ultimate by hitting Elyoya, but he doesn't get it, so BB doesn't have enough damage. And now, I mean, Super took the safe pathing. He knew, like, Hansama is clearing
this.
Yeah, like Hansama is clearing mid wave under tower. I understand why Super thinks it's fine to walk here, but
but he uses the E as well, which means that Skumon rather knows, okay, well, this is free.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the minimap and I'm thinking to myself, maybe Elyoya could have fought Labrov, but he recognizes, hang on, my AD carries just dives, Skumon would collapse, Caps on the way as well, not worth it. Decides instead to go back to base, and 13 kills to 7, just short of a 5k gold lead for G2. And I mean, so much of this being driven by Skumon. Back-to-back games, this man has been the hero for G2.
Really has. For MKOI, though, you are starting to get some of those Masterworks. We see the upgraded Infinity Edge for Super. The gold lead is 5k, but those Masterworks usually between about 750 to 1.2k gold's worth of value on those upgrades. So MKOI, as that Ornn levels up, will be able to get a little bit more back in their pockets. The problem for them is they're on a bit of a clock. Cloud Soul in 90 seconds. They can try and fight around it. It's not the most impactful Soul, but it is still pretty valuable.
I would say it's very impactful this game. It's going to be so hard for MKOI to try to maneuver in the fights if G2 are able to pick it up the Soul. But G2 was in the same position last game, but with the opposite foot. So MKOI are looking to try to recreate the magic we saw from G2 last game. All they really need is a...
Ansama to face check a brush.
Yeah,
Labrov to flash.
Or Labrov to flash
TP
forward.
coming out. Labrov did look for the flash. There's the Rune Prism follow-up. Good damage onto the Nautilus. Forces him away. Caps coming in from the side as well. Decides to
TP from Mirin is
recall.
quite the commitment. Bot wave, I think, is slow pushing in KOI's favor. They don't have a wave to play off in mid. With 40 seconds on the Dragon, G2 have enough time to go back to base and replenish wards, spend what gold they have. There's the Phantom Dancer now finished for Han, so he'll come into this fight with 3 items.
Jojo 2 levels behind, or a level and a half. Does have that Rod of Ages, now masterworked at 7 stacks. Needs 3 minutes more, but you do not have that time.
Okay, they don't have that crazy setup here. It looks like G2 can just run down mid and try to force them out. MKOI need to try to hold this spot.
Mirwin begins to back away. Caps trying to get in from the top side of the play. Jojo retreating for now. Control ward down from MKOI. Can be cleared out by G2 and is so. A couple of snap traps. Tasty cupcakes waiting for Labrov if he steps further forward. Jojo, the hook, does not connect. Blast cone used by Labrov. MKOI still holding their ground in the river. Super gets chunked out a little. Jojo dodges the seismic shove. His fancy feet has the ballet shoes on this game, it seems. Elyoya and MKOI will start up the Drake. Hansama still has the arrow. Labrov still has the depth charge. Dreadline lands onto Mirwin. Call of the Forgotten coming out. Equalizer on the backline. Encore for the follow-up. Lands onto 3. The charm in. Elyoya dives forward. A crescent guard for the retreat. Mirwin on the front line. Skumon chased up towards the top side. Goes in with the cataclysm. And now Caps and Hansama begin to open up. They're locked in a cage. And MKOI are just food for G2.
The fight looked so good for MKOI, but Skumon just keeps delivering as he takes down 4 members. Caps with the Cloud Soul, takes down Jojo as well. It's an ace for G2. It's a soul for G2, and it's probably going to be the Nash as the cherry on top.
I mean, I think you summarized it beautifully, Jack. The start of the fight looked so promising for KOI. They got the front to back. They start by picking off the support, and it looks so promising, but a lot of credit needs to be given to Broken Blade. Watch his equalizer. You'll see the ulti comes through initially from him, and this equalizer makes it so difficult for Super to follow up. Xin goes in, Elyoya on the, Jojo on the flank, the re-engagement comes through, and look at this ulti. Connects onto 3, the combo connects with Caps, and they just melt the carries. A step too far from KOI was all Skumon needed to bring KOI to their knees.
MKOI, a team that we so often praise for their team fighting. G2 here, just accepting the pressure, not buckling, just bending, and then breaking MKOI's hearts as they dive back in. A Cloud Soul and a Baron, 2.5 minutes left on it here for G2. And what a performance overall from them. For MKOI, you're looking at the last dregs of hope, at least in this game. It is a best of 5. You have 3 more to try and reverse sweep.
As far as it's been a statement series from Skumon. I think a lot of people were looking at Elyoya as one of the best junglers alongside maybe Yike. I think a lot of people were kind of down on the Skumon stocks, especially with the rough regular season that G2 had. But this is the Skumon that we saw last summer. This is the Skumon that we saw dominate. I mean, he full clears, but after that, he is on the line.
16 hill participation out of 18, only missing 2 across the entirety of this game. And now G2 once again with that 2-lane split Push for the bottom inhib. Tower will be able to take it. Can go for the inhib as well. Hans Summer unleashing his quiver onto it. Will take it down. G2 still have 90 seconds on the Baron. Skumon making sure that Cannon Minion is buffed up. MKOI trying to defend the mid lane for now as Jojo split pushes.
Summer's hitting the Nexus turret.
That he is. One down. They do respawn. Jojo now back. Has the actualizer complete. I remember this from the regular season. A rise on a base defense with the actualizer just completed. Can MKOI pull the rabbit out of the hat? Can they get a little bit of sleight of hand? G2 not giving them the fight for now. The mid inhib is down. The arrow goes in. The equalizer too. An actualizer does not beat an equalizer, it seems, as Jojo falls first. Mirwin still on that front line, but MKOI having to back away. Crescent Guard out by Elyoya, but the dash in from Skumon. Elyoya falls as G2 wipe them away in the base. A 5-0 ace to top off a 27-minute win.
The early game, the bot lane felt promising for KOI, but G2 is willing to bring the fight to KOI, and they came out on top. Skumon having such an impressive series, first on the Zahin, now on the Jarvan, 6-0-15. What an impressive performance from this young man in the jungle.
And I was hoping that MKOI would calm down after that game 1, but they wanted to bring the heat even further up. That is G2's comfort zone. They're willing to scrap with you. They're willing to go into the chaos. And G2 were the one that came out ahead.
They were. Great performance all around by G2. We're going to hand it over to the analyst desk to break down that game.
Well, I think we're going to talk a lot about Skumon. Hey, how good is your jungler?
He's OP. I mean, where was the Yoya?
Oh, is that a summary?
I mean, that's a pretty good summary. I don't know what to say. Skumon, I think, making a name for himself, and I would say after these first 2 games, best jungler in the league. I think it was contested. I don't think it's contested anymore. We've seen 2 games where he can do both. He protect, he attack. He can selfishly farm in the jungle and do nothing for 20 minutes and then be a team fight threat, or he can just run bot as everyone is inting their faces off from both sides. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Pick up the kills and carry the game.
I mean, it's hard to argue with at this point. I think Skumon has shown an absolute great series so far, and I am just so disappointed in MKOI because they showed us so much game 1. They showed us that 2v2 kill now, early game in the bot, and I was like, okay, we're getting a little repeat, and then they just started dying.
And then it kept repeating. And then it kept repeating. Oh, and we start here, Finn, and you're like, Dracos, look how great they are. And I agreed, Finn. Game over, right? We go game 3.
Headshot.
Stop it here, MKOI fans, because it doesn't get better. It just keeps going downhill.
You have BF in base. Just go and get your BF and then stomp the lane. But they're greeting for the recalls, Dracos. They're greeting because they want to get the perfect recall, and now they end up dying, and the snowball just gets melted.
It's out of character for Alvaro, I'm gonna say, for sure, right? The repeated out of position.
I mean, it's tough because we were praising him so much in the Navi series because he was so good on Ludo that game. We were like, okay, Alvaro, we know you're great at engages, but we want you to step up on these enchanters. And now he locked in the Seraphine. We thought it would be the game, but he just kept dying to this Nautilus hook. Repeat. Labraries kept finding these crazy hooks.
And again, we're in a situation where MKOI's composition needs to hold on to that lead. You have the Enchanter bot lane, so they get the lead. Then G2 even things out, and let me tell you, if I could be the team comp with the Ashe and the Nautilus who just gets to push an R button and start a fight, or if I have to be the Caitlyn with a Seraphine that's just even, barely, I know which composition's gonna win.
You know who wasn't even? Broken Blade.
That's very true.
He was 800 gold up, and we interviewed Alfari, right, before, and he said, top doesn't matter. Top doesn't matter what it's going to be a Sion matchup. Top doesn't matter. I said that was wishful thinking. This is exactly why.
Put me in Rumble that game with Skumon as my jungler. I look the same, okay? Like, what do you mean? Rumble got a head, sure, but then he just died 2 times randomly, and Skumon just kept picking him up the slack. I love Broken Blade. I think that was a good Rumble.
They're not going to pick you, bro. That's propaganda.
But come on, I can do that too.
I don't know when the top laners all had a secret meeting to try to convince the entire world that top lane didn't matter, because BB was on fire. He has been playing well, and you just can't tell me the 1K gold lead isn't important. He always had prio against Miro, and we saw that as much as Ornn on paper can be this big scaling late game threat, BB was finding good equalizers in fights. Something that we saw yesterday didn't happen in the Ornn Rumble matchup for Mainter up against Lot. So it is still that big moment where he did contribute more to the team. but I think we just have to keep saying it. Skewmond, Skewmond, Skewmond. BB destroying his lane opponent, on track. But it's Skewmond who is making the difference here on the Zehen, finding the creative angles, even if we didn't love the build. And in this one, just walking at people and murdering them. Like, that's the power of a J4 when ahead, and he leveraged it so well.
I mean, look, if I'm a G2 fan, I'm watching this series with a huge grin on my face, because the main worry for G2 in regular season was that what happens when Caps doesn't step up? Well, it didn't look that convincing, but this series, Caps has been kind of invisible. It's been all the other 4 players having huge moments, and I think if you ask a G2 fan, this is very convincing, because you want to see that depth, you want to see that range, and you want to see those options in draft, and I think so far we're definitely seeing it from G2.
I'm a reverse sweep merchant, but I don't believe.
But they want
I know, no, sorry.
Want the reverse sweep.
I know, I did curse you guys that one time.
Well, and to be fair...
Camera on me. No. It starts with success. It starts right now.
The camera wasn't going to give that to you. Guys, I want to give you copium. I want to believe in the reverse sweep.
He's like, camera on me.
It starts with success.
No,
and success doesn't come from Madrid. It comes from the Berlin studio and a massive reverse sweep from MKOI.
It does. It started so far with failure, and I don't want it to end with failure. I want more from MKOI, but I can't keep betting on intangibles. I can't keep betting on the idea that there's some imaginary ceiling that they've yet to hit in this series.
I will say, it starts with success doesn't make any sense. I don't know what I was saying. It starts with failure makes a lot more sense.
I'm sorry, it's stuck in time for forever. It doesn't. You can't take it back.
My point is, maybe this is the kick in the butt that Movistar KOI needed. The question that I have is, we have that early game which we put a lot onto from game 1, knowing that they have those systems. We also have the context that in the struggle for getting to those playoffs, Melz had said, you're gonna have to play better. You cannot make these mistakes. We're looking to beat the best in the world, so we definitely have to beat these, right? So do you think there's been too many mistakes made in this best of 5 to presume that they can pull it back?
I mean, there has been mistakes made, but look, if you want to come in to that finals in Badalona with a huge mental advantage, what better way to do it than with a reverse sweep? Right here against G2.
Yeah.
If there's ever a moment to do it now and show G2 that last finals in Madrid was a fluke, a reverse sweep here would be a juicy start.
I will say, the Fnatic fans, they usually cheer for everyone who used to be on Fnatic, except for Caps. Because he's a traitor.
They want to mix things up a little bit, which I think is fair.
And I appreciate it. Well, I hope we see the reverse sweep. That would be 5 games to close us off for our Super Week here in LEC versus in the studio. But let's see if it's just G2 who booked their ticket to the grand final after this.
What's wrong with me today? I think you should have a break.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Baby, cause I'm a crushing. My body wanna talk. What was that?
Whoops.
Wait, is he switching lanes?
A new champion. Welcome to my shop. You'll need the right build. Choose wisely, because every upgrade brings you closer to the next level. So tell me, how will you level up?
finds the route onto our Rohan. Sama did get slowed by the beat drop. Skewmon here first. Awesome damage onto LeBron.
Super. Holy.
Nice flash again. I'll look him. Yeah, we kill. I'm going more as well. I want to go more. I will. Yeah, chill out. Just tank. I have a hook. Can you tank? He's dead. Give me. Good job. Look, guys. Rumble low. Yeah. Nice. Oh, somebody talk to me right now. No. I'm not talking to you. Skill him and Gunash. Guys, do both.
Welcome back. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, no, I just wanted to understand. He said, okay, someone talk to me after this fight. And then Broken Blade goes, I will not talk to you after this fight. I want to understand what this dynamic is all about, because clearly there's some internal comms about communication. That when someone pops off, apparently someone needs to talk to someone.
I think it's like, oh, talk to me now, huh? Talk to me now, you know? Hey, let's hear what you have to say now.
Okay, it could be that, yeah. I mean, right now, the vibes are very good in the G2 camp, but for KOI, their backs are against the wall. Now, for any LCK fans, I mean, this position shouldn't really mean much to you, because we've seen a reverse sweep very recently. So if
you spoiling, buddy?
I'm not spoiling. If a team could do that to this other team,
yes,
I believe that any team could reverse sweep any other team.
A team that had
we have to worry that much about spoilers?
The team that had it done to them as well.
Yeah,
shares a similar spot in their region's ethos.
That's true.
As G2.
That's true.
Yeah.
It happened like yesterday, right?
So it was more than yesterday.
2 days ago?
2 days ago, yeah.
Guys, look at the results. Just did a quick bit of research. G2 last year obviously made all finals with this roster.
Yeah.
They've made 9 finals in a row in the LEC. This would be their 10th.
Wow. Oh, damn.
Which is an incredibly impressive feat. The last time they didn't make finals was all the way back in 2023, I believe.
2023?
Yeah, when it was BDS versus MAD.
My goodness.
In the finals.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a spring split, right?
That was a spring split, yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. Okay. And so, of course, the roster changed since then, right? Because that was the Mickey and Yike roster, and then last year they introduced Skewmon and Lebrov. I mean, wow, what an impressive run they've been able to have. KOI, they're going to have to find the reverse sweep in order to try and end that streak. Of course, they could still go through the lower bracket.
Oh, they can end. G2 hasn't won 9 finals in a row.
Correct.
They've just been in 9 finals in a row.
That's very, very true.
They've only won like 7.
Often, I do tend to win more, lose more in winter and in spring than later on in the year. Summer tends to be where they really ramp up. MKOI, the right of first selection, have chosen second pick. G2 have picked a blue side once again. So it's kind of a mirror of game 1, where MKOI did choose to have second pick. On the blue side, we have the Aphelios, the Gwen, and the Nami bans. On the red side, Varus and Azir.
Yeah, those are some interesting bans from G2. Very, like, targeted, very niche.
Very targeted.
Yeah. So they want to deny Supa from having, like, a 1v9 carry potential.
But what AD
with the
carry are
Aphelios.
you thinking of? What is Aphelios good into?
Yunara? That's the one
has
champion
snuck
that
its way
is still
through,
up.
yeah.
And Aphelios is a pretty good matchup into it.
That's got to be a first pick Yunara here for sure, right?
But MKOI have got to know that's what's going to happen. So then what do you pick into the Yunara?
Corki, probably.
Yeah, that's why you also maybe ban the Nami, so they don't get the Corki Nami combo.
Yeah. And then the Gwen would suggest that G2 is also looking at a Cassante topside as well, or at least some tankier option. Seems to be taking their time, but Yunara feels like, yeah, I mean, it's the most obvious pick. So what's the trade here for KOI? What are you giving up? Or like, what is your priority? Because you have to expect the Yunara to come through. It's got to be something either in the jungle that they really want to get their hands on. Maybe Aatrox?
Could be an Aatrox flex. I wouldn't mind it, especially with the fact that they are on the red side. They could flex it all the way to 5. Probably just going to be ADC Loki, and I would expect the Corki, unless Supa has something else in store for us. It's going to be the Corki.
I love the way you, with a small amount of hope in your voice, you're like, unless Supa has something else first. No, just going to be the Corki here for Supa. Tend to see junglers relatively early, but it's Aurora coming out.
Aurora. I mean, it is going to be a flex, right? You can put it mid or top. I think we've seen Mirwin play it a few times, not this year, but in years past.
Oh, I have full faith in Mirwin.
Yeah.
It very much feels like it's within his wheelhouse. Perhaps as a deterrent to the Cassante.
I think it's not good into Cassante though. Or it's like, it's whatever.
I mean, it definitely is good into Cassante.
Yeah, yeah,
just
but it's not like, it's not like...
But you don't outscale Cassante.
Yeah, Cassante's fine into it, is more what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Mirwin actually has 3 times as many games on Aurora as Jojo. Jojo has 3 games on it all time, and Mirwin has 10.
Oh, wow.
So,
what's his win rate?
Jojo's is 1 of 3.
Okay.
Mirwin's is 50%.
Okay.
Both of them under their career win rates.
Not the numbers you'd maybe hope to try to make the reverse sweep happen here. That's going to be the Lulu locked in for Lebrov. They have the Yunara-Lulu combo with the front line in the top lane.
I'm going to be completely honest with you, gentlemen. I really like the foundation that G2 have in contrast to KOI's.
It's a very solid foundation.
Like, I feel like Aurora blind is a very risky thing to do. I think she really suffers from range. And I think that you have to have a lot of enablers. I think Rakan is a nice idea, but how do you both feel about Rakan into Lulu, both in lane and later into the game?
Yeah, it kind of sucks. You ever jump in, a wild growth on your target immediately knocks you out of
And
your
then
knockup.
polymorph too.
Polymorph as well is really painful. However, Aurora goes between worlds, jumps onto the back line. You charm E onto her through the entire enemy team in a magical fairy dreamland that I'm currently living in. It's a perfect engage.
Well, there's that Aatrox we briefly discussed. Poppy going to go away as well.
I think we're going to kind of see a repeat of game 1. With G2, we'll be trying to continue building this kind of disengaged comp that can handle MKOI's dive, while MKOI, they're going to be looking to just double down and try to have more threats for G2's carries here. And you see MKOI, they're banning out the Aatrox, which really thrives into having champs coming into it, and they're banning out the Poppy, a really good disengaged champion.
Is this a Volibear angle for Skumond?
Maybe? I don't know. I feel like Volibear jungle, I have not seen it in so long.
No, I know.
I think it was more like a top lane champ these days.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. It's more so that I'm just thinking about if you need an engage, what options do you have? Well, I was looking at Elyoya's champions as well, and I looked at the Jace, but I didn't think it would make a lot of sense here.
They're kind of pivoting, trying to play more range now with Jace Corki.
But then I don't like Aurora, because I feel like Corki plus Jace do have a lot of poke, but Aurora, she's like... Short range is obviously a relative term, but depending on what the enemy mid matchup is, she can really struggle at actually getting in range to do decent poke.
She can kind of be like the finisher, like you poke them down and then Aurora tries to finish them off. I do agree with you, Betty, that I'm not the biggest fan, as it looks like G2 will go for the old, tried and tested Ahri Wukong that we've been seeing quite a bit. Ahri sets up Wukong really nice. They can both dive really deep. It doesn't have that kind of disengage, but I think it's a nice pivot after Elyoya locks in the Jace.
So where is the Aurora going is the question. Is it going to be used into the Cassante, or does KOI have something else in mind?
How do you shut down the Ahri if you're going to pivot this Aurora? Is it something like the Cass? It works well into the Yunara and into the Wukong?
I mean, Cassio is very good into Ahri. She really struggles to trade in lane, and like, if you ever use Q on the wave, Cassio then has nothing to be afraid of. You will just always out-trade her.
This MKOI comp, isn't it so difficult to play? You're playing Rakan with no front line. Like, I always think of Rakan as like, it's great follow-up, but it's kind of torture to engage solo, especially when you're up against Cassante, Wukong, Lulu, and you just have nobody that goes in first. It needs to be, I feel like, the only real win con I see for MKOI is either Jojo or Mirwin getting a huge lead, and then they can just generate so much pressure in fights that they kind of 1v9.
Is there also the argument that you could just play full back foot? Say, we'll poke you out. Obviously, the Cassante is going to be difficult to do that with, and Wukong has the clone. But we'll poke you out, and then when you engage, Rakan is used as also a pseudo-disengage tool in that regard?
Yeah.
Yeah, not too confident. It could work. But
I mean,
it means that Rakan doesn't have to go in solo,
if
basically.
If Skumon goes too deep, there's definitely a world where I see Rakan peels that off nicely. But I feel like if Skumon goes for a little flank, Caps plays the engage pretty well. G2 don't need to like fully commit in such a way that it's easy for MKOI to play. And I think Jojo, I need to see him really have a fantastic game, because I do think if he gets ahead, then he can kind of be the bucket holder, as we talked about before, because he can be the tank, he can be the front line, he can be the space creator and the DPS.
Let's get into game 3 of this best of 5. G2 looking for their 10th final in a row. MKOI looking to get their 3rd, slowly beginning a little bit of a legacy here in the LEC. With a couple of wins under their name, we'll see if they can put G2 down into the lower brackets.
I mean, we've heard conversations around
MKOI when their expectations are to be competing internationally. That is where they set their sights. And personally, I never like those conversations because I think that your focus, like it devalues what it means to win domestically, but also I think it kind of takes for granted the level of the domestic competition. And I think that what we're seeing right now is like it's also just very high expectations to then come in and just comfortably be better than everyone else. And right now we are seeing these silly mistakes that Melzet continues to put pressure on them about, and it's understandable why he gets so infuriated by them, because the ceiling of this team often feels so high, but then these silly mistakes are often what cost them very big games.
I mean, I'm torn on it, because as a former pro, I always had it in my head, like, the reason and everything that motivated me was that one day to win Worlds, you know? It's like the dream. I think you always need to have a dream that pushes you to reach those ambitions and goals, but you also need to, like, take it one step at a time.
Right.
And for me, I think sometimes it can kind of feel like nearly like an excuse, like it's fine if we're bad right now because at the end of the day we have this larger reaching goal that we're going towards. And I think there's a healthy way of doing it, and then there's also just kind of this feeling of underestimating your opposition because we're gonna Worlds is the main focus. So I agree with you, Vic.
It's the sort of we excuse mistakes now because we are scaling up.
Well, I can tell you now, Melzet is not excusing anything.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
He is.
100%.
Yeah, that man is holding his team to a very high standard, and they're going to need to deliver to bring about a reverse sweep. So we did talk about this Aurora versus Cassante matchup. Early on, it is horrible for the Cassante. Aurora is such a good lane bully. I do often prefer seeing her in top lane. Oh.
What? Oh my God! Caps just hits him with the flash charm.
I mean, that's revenge for game one. TP's in front of his face, and then Caps finally gets to put the doubters to bed.
And that's why he didn't mention his name. He was asked about the best mid laners. He said Yahoo, he said Poppy, but Jojo was not on the list.
Oh my goodness. And this is such a difficult matchup for Ari. He's been dodging those Qs very well. I want to get a replay back, see if he does the E flash, because that's what it felt like he did initially to channel it up.
Elioya here going to keep Broken Blade in lane. Broken Blade, though, is healed up a ton with that Doran shield. Jojo did TP back, the charm going out. Yeah, it's not great at all. That lane not in a good position at all for Caps right now.
Ooh, let's see the replay here. So it starts with...
So the mana's quite low for Jojo.
Yeah.
He uses everything, and then Caps realizes, hang on a second. Oh, flash into E. Yeah. Beautifully done.
Oh, but great from Jojo with revenge!
I mean, this mid lane matchup, it's delivering.
So,
Jojo.
This is way better for Jojo.
Yeah.
Because you lose an entire wave if you're Caps, and the reason why Jojo could make that play was because, of course, Caps committed the flash in the previous play, but now Jojo gets all this extra XP, and you can see now there's about a 25% level advantage in favor of Jojo. So the gold now neutralized, but overall, Jojo, he's a happy man.
And one thing that we didn't touch on, I just noticed now, Mirwin is running the PTA. So really opting to go for this hard lane bully style, and it has resulted in him already having a 300 gold lead and around 2 waves lead. And I think that's a big reason, because in my head I thought the Cassante, yeah, it's a bad matchup in the Aurora, but it wouldn't be such a struggle. But I think with that PTA, Mirwin has been able to just pretty much auto Broken Blade down and make his life really, really hard.
Using that passive, the Spirit Abjuration as well, stacking up from your auto attacks on enemy champions to a bunch of max HP damage.
And so, coming into this game, I kind of had this mental idea of, okay, you know what, I've been wrong about drafts many times throughout my career, and I'm open to being wrong about this one from KOI. While we have our doubts, I'm open to learning and seeing ways in which it can work. I might have to hold my breath here as both supports have made their way into mid lane. Alvaro.
Ground entrance in from Alvaro, battle dance out, and Elioya still looking for that flank position. Caps on the right side of the wall for a accelerated shock blast. Noxus blast going to hit Jojo, though, still slow. Caps still chunked out by Asma down. Will force Caps and Lavrov just to respect.
The wave is so bad. So if Jojo and Alvaro can just hold this wave, force Caps to recall, the CS lead in mid will continue growing for Jojo. You can see that Caps, he really doesn't want to recall, but now he's so chunked. If Jojo's able to land a Q,
Jojo also about to hit 6. I think one more minion is enough. Lavrov coming across. There we are. Jojo gets the petrifying gaze.
Yeah, this is horrible.
Caps hits 6 himself. Charm dodged by Jojo. Walks back to the lane.
Oh, I like watching these two mid laners fight. You can see that they are not wasting any time trying to fight. That wave is in a really horrible spot for Caps still. But yeah, so the reason why I brought up that conversation about draft is because right now what we know is KOI have winning mid matchup, and they have winning top. And of course, Jojo dying 1v1, not ideal, but he rectified the situation by getting a 1v1 back.
Polymorph going to get forced to flash away. Accelerated shot blast is going to land though, and now Super has a flank position. Heal coming out to try and get the extra movement speed. Valkyrie, LeBron flashes away from the ground entrance and shields himself with the help picks to get himself out alive. G2 escaped the clutches, but with a phosphorus bomb! Super puts LeBron in the dirt.
And Elioya and Super there able to start that fight. Elioya kind of baits them in with Super being able to move, and alongside Jojo, since Caps was in the base, that was what sealed the deal and allowed MKOI to run them down and pick up that kill on LeBron. There's now more fighting in mid.
Caps dodges the Petrifying Gaze. Skumon looking to get in here as well. Still only level 5. Will hit 6 off 2 minions. Gets there, but Alvaro is in there in time to defend Jojo. Caps doesn't want to use another Spirit Rush forward. See what G2 were thinking. Needed a couple of minions to die in the way for Skumon to get towards that Cyclone.
I mean, a lot of this series has been about bot lane, and I'm glad that we're finally getting to make it about mid, because both of these mid laners are hungry for that action. Jojo not connecting the ulti, opened up a window for G2 to try and find a play. Caps, his hit rate on the charms hasn't been the highest this game, but it looks like G2's looking for more.
Skumon going in with a Cyclone onto Elioya. Second Cyclone with the decoy takes the kill. And Skumon says it can be about mid lane if you want it to be, but I've been running the rip in the first 2 games. I'll take out Elioya.
I mean, Skumon, he knew Elioya didn't have the flash, and he jumps on the opportunity. He gets him with the Cyclone. As more trades happening around mid, I mean, this game, there is no relaxation here. It just keeps going.
In towards the bottom side onto Hansama. Super doesn't have the flash, nor does Alvaro. Help picks, shield barrier out from Hansama as well. Super and Alvaro forced back to their tower. Caps low. Jojo has enough for a Noxious Blast on the Twin Fangs. Skumon's coming in from the side. This charm connects. Skumon dashes in with a Nimbus strike. Accelerated shot blast. Flash forward. Knock back. Elioya here in time to save his Canadian mid.
Neither of the teams want to give an inch here, as now Elioya back in the mid lane, backs Jojo up, and we can see that Jojo is continuing to get the upper hand on Caps here, as he's able to crash the wave and pick up a kill on Skumon, and that's going to be 3 grubs going over to MKOI.
Elioya with fantastic timing. I mean, I was worried that Jojo was going way too deep, not respecting enemy jungle, but he had full faith that his jungler would come at just the right time. The hammer knockback, because Skumon, he tried to read the play. He was like, okay, Jojo might be able to get away from me. If I flash in front of him, I can land one more auto attack. Then the hammer form to push him away created enough space that Skumon couldn't actually land that last auto, meaning that KOI is able to come out ahead. I mean, it's crazy to think that there's only been 5 kills in this game. Like, the damage dealt must be crazy already.
Yeah, I mean, Vetty, 3rd time's the charm. Let's hear the draft point.
Do you want me to bring the Skumon down? Petrifying Gaze coming out. Miasma down. Spirit Rush from Caps is available, but he dashes away from the grand entrance, and now Skumon's here in time to make the play. A polymorph to dash back in. Jojo gets the kill. Skumon gets 1 in response. Supports and junglers facing off in the mid lane now, as both the mid laners have been sent to an early grave. Good accelerated shot blast from Elioya will chunk out Skumon.
All right, gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club. The only rules of Fight Club is that it has to be in mid lane and only 3 people are allowed at a time.
And we have to talk about it.
My goodness. It is Jojo that finds a kill. Super now fighting against Hansama. The AD carries don't want to be left out of the action just yet, but Alvaro
can come in. Hansama uses the ultimate, can use those Kanmei's steps to dash away.
But this game, every time someone is on the same screen, there's an all-in. As Elioya uses the mid-fight to now pick up that Hextech Drake. As we go into the replay, it starts with Jojo flash ulting forward, doesn't get the Petrifying Gaze, but Caps is being ran down, he gets the ultimate. Then Caps, he wants to continue the play, so he dashes forward.
Yeah, that was a
Jojo
mistake.
gets the Q, takes him down, so it turns into a 1-for-1.
Yeah, Caps was way too greedy with that. He should have just kept his distance. He thought that with the polymorph duration, maybe he could get in, land a charm, make it impossible for Jojo to actually move. But Jojo was able to come back out of the polymorph just in time in order to get that kill back. 2-2-1 the scoreline of Jojo. Still has a 400 gold lead. Has about a 2-wave advantage in that matchup as well. Top lane, okay, they're there. MKOI has built up a very healthy lead, but supports are back in mid lane. Junglers are hovering around the area as well.
It's the but before that supports are back in mid lane. It's obvious, I bet supports will always be back in mid lane in this game. Drake up in 4 minutes time, a long time before we have to play around it. No real objectives on the map apart from the blood of your enemies. Hansama goes in with the barrier.
But the fights don't even make sense. It's just they see each other on the screen and they want to fight.
Alvaro and Elioya able to catch out Lebrov. The quickness in, the Lulu down. Elioya gets his second of the game. And now Hansama needs to retreat, but the chase can continue from Alvaro. Headfine gaze there from Jojo. Hansama underneath the tower, surviving for now, but now with a wave coming in, not really too much he can do in this situation. Trading blows with Elioya, who'll get his third.
Oh, and the top lane as well.
And Mirwin goes between worlds, dashes away. Broken Blade used the all-out as well. The two-fold hex for Mirwin for a little bit more damage on the Cassante as he tries to retreat, dodges the weirding, and will heal himself up a little bit with that refillable.
There's not a moment to breathe here.
So,
Skew-Mon's looking for mid.
on mid.
Jojo, no flash.
He's respecting it though, he's cautious. Lebrov once again in the mid lane, but here comes the cavalry from Koi.
Good damage onto Caps. That's a Yumu's with a pickaxe and a longsword for Elioya. And this is, I like the idea of going for these aggressive skirmishes because we said MKOI would struggle to find engages. If your poke is strong enough, you don't actually really need to find those engages. Everyone is half HP, and as we talked about in draft, you can use Mirwin as a little bit of a finisher.
I mean, my whole draft point was that Koi have winning lanes, both in top and in mid. And I mean, credit to Koi, they're playing through mid very well. They are constantly finding skirmishes that go their way. They're finding successful picks. And you look at the bottom of your screen, individually, there's no significant gold advantage, but collectively, Koi have advantages across the board, and it's netting them an overall 2k gold lead. Koi find themselves in a fantastic position early on. The role quest now starting to be complete for Koi, and remember, those early kills, those early assists, rapidly contribute to the completion of those quests as well.
Yeah, and Koi decided to put Mirwin bot very early here.
I mean, it's probably because of his role quest completion.
Yeah, but it does delay Super quite a bit. I think maybe it's partially because of Broken Blade itemizing so heavily into the MR that Super is just like killing it, but I don't know if this is actually good.
Also gets Super a little bit of experience by himself. As you can see, Alvaro is down towards that bottom side, so not sure how effective it will be, but it's the decision that MKOI have made as Skew-Mon looks towards mid lane once again. Both the supports pathing out there. Next main objective, the Rift Herald or the Drake up in about a minute 40. Alvaro going for the engage. Spirit Rush out. Quickness used by Alvaro. Already has that Zeke's convergence complete.
That was kind of insane reaction times from Caps. It felt like that he...
Jojo. Oh, dodges the charm, the flash, polymorph, but three-man petrifying gaze! And Lebrov will feel the sting of the twin bangs from Jojo. Skew-Mon goes back in with the Cyclone, looking at the damage on Jojo, and they just about have it. A 1-for-1 in the exchange. Caps has to flash the knock-up. Alvaro almost dying. Just surviving. TP to the top side from Mirwin.
Jojo in this game is doing so much. We said it in the draft that Jojo needs to have an amazing performance to put MKOI on his back, and he's having just that. The three-man petrifying gaze. So now Mirwin in the top side here, gonna pick up some plates with Matt. Jojo, what a game on Cassio.
I mean, this is how I envision most scrims go.
Yeah,
this
is how scrims go.
This is a great demonstration of what happens behind the scenes, and I mean, we devolve into chaos. Initial engage. So look, Caps predicts the ulti from Alvaro the second he spots Elioya, so he preemptively uses his ulti. Having 2 charges left means that he then goes in, the charm goes wide, 3-man petrifying gaze, the shock blast from Elioya to set up onto Lebrov, and then it becomes a chase down. Caps is able to get 1 back at the very least, but it's another 2 kills going the way of Koi.
Skew-Mon using his flash there as well to try and get into Jojo on the backline. A 1.1k lead for Elioya. The charm going to stop the quickness here from Alvaro, who does go back in with the grand entrance, but Caps has to use the Spirit Rush to dodge away. Alvaro spending so much time around this mid lane. Hansama, the only bit of blue in the gold leads towards the bottom, has had a little bit more support from Lebrov than Super has had from Alvaro.
Jojo feels kind of like a raid boss. I don't know, whenever I see him on my screen, I'm worried for Caps' sake. Even though the gold lead is only like 100, pretty much nothing, he still has so good control of this mid lane here. As you can see, Caps is struggling to even farm.
I mean, this is a really horrible matchup for Ari. Not only do you lose in terms of health just because of usual itemization, but also just, it's a DPS champ versus a burst champ.
Yeah.
And so if any components of that burst don't connect, then the DPS champ will win. But on top of that, even approaching the wave, you're leaving yourself susceptible to getting poisoned and then run down.
Nice buffer on the weirding there to get out of the Q3. Skumon, though, still looking good. Prediction from Alvaro to get that grand entrance knock-up on Skumon.
A big bounce-back game for Alvaro for sure after he got caught so many times in game 2. Right now, there's a lot of fight over vision. The dragon is alive. Skumon testing the waters. Looks like nothing too much is going to come off the back of it, though. My goodness, what an exciting game 3. Both of these teams battling blow for blow, but it is KOI that is consistently coming out ahead. The dragon being started off. Here comes Caps from mid.
He's got to be aware that this could be happening as the Blob's almost caught out. The Cyclone going in. Jojo gets the Petrifying Gaze onto Caps, but he's going to fall before they can do too much more. A quickness out of Alvaro, just use and retreat rather than attack, and Caps getting the resets on the Spirit Rush. Almost catches Elioya with the charm. Hansama steps forward now. His turn to do the damage onto MKOI. They don't want to let Elioya and Super escape. Super trying to get out the Phosphorus Bomb down, but Skumon should be able to chase him out even with the barrier. Meanwhile, underneath the tower, a polymorph enough to make it 4 for G2.
Just like that, 8-8 in kills. G2 find a huge fight in the river that KOI was not ready for. A quick collapse, a quick engage, G2 pick up 4 kills.
And G2 strike back here, and it's all of the engage of Skumon. Even though he doesn't have vision, he knows that they're there, so he's walking up, immediately goes in, and they're able to pick up Jojo Pyun so fast, and Supa's not actually able to join the fight. Hansama has the first move, Supa has to walk around, and I thought that Elioya and Supa would be fine here, but they choose to split up, because Elioya wants to stay under tower while Supa goes up. And I think if they tried to stay together, maybe they could have traded 1 kill at least back. But G2, they play both fronts well, and they pick up 4 kills.
And a tower in the bottom lane as well.
And a gold lead.
And a Drake.
That was a 3k gold swing off that singular fight.
It's another situation where a single moment swings the whole game. KOI did so much in terms of building up their lead, finding good skirmishes. But the thing is, I don't think that that was inherently a mistake from KOI. It just felt like that G2 had such a clear game plan of how they wanted to approach it. It was KOI that was setting up the trap onto G2, but it was G2 that ended up springing it and finding themselves all those kills.
I think that's the difficulties of this KOI comp. You saw that Elioya got some poke onto LeBron, but they really need to execute the fights better than G2, or they need to get a huge amount of poke down to disallow Skumon from really getting any sort of engage. Because if G2 can just have a normal team fight where Caps lands a charm, Skumon gets the Cyclone, it's easy pickings for G2.
And we're seeing another situation where this is pretty consistent for Hansama. He'll stay even with his opponent AZ carry, and the moment that his team gets a lead, look at that massive swing in gold. 1.2k gold lead, the advantage for him. 2 items completed on this Yunara. He's got a Lulu at his back.
With the Ardent Sensor.
With the Ardent Sensor as well. So, I mean, G2 now find themselves in a very scary position once again.
It's going to be hard for MKOI to fight back from here, but have managed to get 2 items on Elioya, who still holds almost 1,000 gold lead, as is Mirwin. Yet to get that second item. Elioya's done a bit of dentistry, stolen a fang out of Jojo's mouth, has the Serpents as their second item, with the Last Whisper alongside it. And for Jojo, trying to get up towards that second item himself, but Caps Lichbane Malignance already complete. Fiend Hunter Bolt's Kraken Slayer for Hansama. You can see like Jojo's been put in a side lane to try and deal with Broken Blade, but Broken Blade with the Canik Rukun and extra magic resist on top of it is able to survive. Caps just gets out, and now Skumon's going to jump onto Mirwin. No Between Worlds, no flash on the Aurora.
Don't do it.
To try and go across the veil, but unable to escape the clutches of the Cyclone. Pulled in to the eye of the storm as Skumon claims his fort.
Caps was really thinking about going back in to see if he could get that kill. Mirwin coming so close to securing that kill, but it's another pick going the way of G2. And it feels like the game is quickly slipping out of the hands of KOI. The early game, even though it was chaotic, it did feel like it was in their control. They were the ones determining how these skirmishes would go. But now the game feels as though it is G2 dictating the pace. 2 minutes until Dragon. There is the Baron alive. I don't expect that to be the next objective. These outer towers likely going to be what G2 is focusing on.
And the problem is that MKOI are kind of fumbling with the stronger pieces. They're fighting around Jojo that had a big lead on Caps, and they still lost. Mirwin who was level 14 to Caps level 12 there, nearly solo killed him. Still, it's Skewmon that's there first, so Mirwin ends up falling now and losing a little bit of that lead that he had on Broken Blade. And just these cumulative leads that G2 are claiming back is allowing them to have control of the map as you see Caps take that top tower, push it out, and now move to mid.
1.5k gold lead for the Ahri. Remember how dominant Jojo was in the mid lane matchup. Once you free that Ahri up to move around to these side lanes, she becomes a lot more confident mid lane.
Gorgeous Valkyrie away. G2 eyes set on the tower. Still have the Rift Herald in pocket as well for Skewmon.
3 towers to 0 right now for G2. Koi, how do they find ways back into this game? Well, this will be a nice advantage picked up for Mirwin. He'll secure that top tower. The Grubs will finish that one off. Against Caps in the side lane, he still has a 2-level lead for now. He'll definitely still win out in that matchup. And I guess I'm thinking about these team fights, and I'm just looking at that build for Broken Blade. He is 0-0-0 in this game, but I'm telling you right now that if they were to play 5v5, he would become a very difficult wall to move.
Kanik Rukun and the Jack Show, so powerful in these positions. You need to try and work your way around him. That's what Mirwin's doing in the mid lane. Looking for LeBrob, good damage into the Lulu, but Whimsy's herself and is able to dodge away in time.
LeBrob though now has the base. Oh, Skewmon. I mean, G2, I think they'll have to concede this Drake just due to Mirwin's chunk here onto LeBrob.
Nice poke coming through from Koi. These are the type of plays that Koi definitely need to be making. It'll give them priority around that bot river. Jojo's going to push out an extra wave as well. And Caps is heading top. He does have the TP if they want to try and contest, but it looks like they're quite happy giving up this third one.
It's only the second Drake for MKOI, third Drake of the game, as you say, Betty. So no soul point, no real threat. Can just accept, you know, yeah, LeBron got a little poked out. That's okay.
Yeah, as you say, Mehdi, it's not the end of the world for G2, but we can kind of see how MKOI wants to play. Mirwin, Elyoya, Supa, any of these champions, they're capable of doing a lot of bursts.
Oh, Mirwin can look at some here. The quickness used onto Mirwin. There's 2 atomized. Immediately deleted, and now Skewmon and Caps are being collapsed on.
A beautiful pick from Koi. A small positioning error from G2 quickly converts into 2 kills. Alvaro in a position to try and shepherd G2 into maybe another pick because Baron could be a possibility.
Yeah, MKOI, they want more. They want to play for this Nash here. Alvaro putting vision, trying to spot Skewmon. They're going to start up the Nash. Skewmon does have the flash, he does have the smite, but he has no vision. Caps is TPing in.
Caps is going to walk forward. Broken Blade there as well with the teleport. A 3v5. Mirwin trying to get in with the weirding. Elyoya down to half HP. Super tanking the Baron for now. It's 6,000. The Cyclone going in. The Petrifying Gaze is going to find one, but with the all-out, they manage to kill off Elyoya. Caps dashing around with the Spear Rush. It's 2 for naught for the 3v5. Broken Blade dashing away, shielding Skewmon, flashes the wall. Caps looking for Super, flashes into himself and still has the stopwatch. 3 for Nail and a 3v5. Make it 4. Jojo able to survive, but LeBron is here. Jojo can chase out Jojo, the polymorph. Hunt Summer here in time. The Baron does the dirty work for G2 as they clean up the fight.
This was a 3 versus 5. But Caps, Skewmon, and Broken Blade, they saved the game for G2 as we watch the fight back here. It's such a good combo from Skewmon. Jojo is doing so much damage. He's trying his best. And Supa is left in the side. He can't join the fight. And Caps just outplays him.
I mean, Jojo does as much as he can in the fight. He gets a good Petrifying Gaze onto the 2 engaged members. But it's just not enough. Skewmon, I do not know what he ate for breakfast this morning, but he needs to be eating it every day that he comes and plays on stage, because what a monster series it has been from him. Lebrov and Hanshammer eventually rejoin the fight. 4 members drop on the side of Koi. They take Skewmon out in exchange, but the Baron is stopped, and G2 win another big fight.
What I love about that from G2 is that a lot of times when you're... Oh, wait, I might not even be able to speak here as Broken Blade is just walking forward.
Red Boss is going down.
He had to walk forward over the miasma to be able to dash back with the Pathmaker. Is able to survive. Talked about it very difficult to kill, even if you have a lot of free time.
I mean, what we know for certain is Koi has the damage. What they don't have, really, is the utility. You think about the amount of CC that actually exists on the side of G2, the pushback that can come through from K'Sante, the knockup from Wukong, the charm from Ahri, and then the polymorph on top of the knockup from Lulu. I feel like it's these tools that really are the difference maker in these very close fights.
Maybe the lack of CC is what's making MKOI's comp hard to play. As G2 are trying to get full control of this top side here. Oh, Jojo might be caught.
Jojo
does have the teleport. With the Shurelias there for the movement speed, G2 begins to collapse on the cast. TP out early doors, the Cyclone there in time, extra movement speed from it. Force Skumon gets him in range, and Jojo will fall.
And now it's MKOI that need to try to contest this Nash 4v5 potentially. But BB did get really chunked on mid here. Maybe that dissuades G2 from trying to start the Nash.
It's a scary Nash to do against this much poke and this much damage. Skumon already brought down to about 60% HP.
Control wall will have been spotted there by Alvaro. They know that Caps is waiting. Spirit Rush, Alvaro dancing to his teammates, dodges away from the charm.
I think with that, there's not going to be any Nash on the cards. And both teams.
Mirwin, the charm! He went between the veil, went invis, and the charm still lands. Caps finding his man, looks for Alvaro as well, who has the grand entrance as an exit. And G2 still caught off the Baron for now.
They don't want to run the risk of starting off the Baron with Jojo back on the map, especially with Dragon in 50 seconds. They don't want to allow KOI to go on a sole point, but this could be a win condition for KOI. The gold, yes, it is in favor of G2, but it's not insurmountable just yet. They are still behind in items, of course, but if they can stall this game out, being able to play for soul, being able to get towards those later game items could be KOI's avenue back into this game.
G2 looking to get control here. I mean, MKOI trying to face check. So difficult for them. Alvaro's too squishy. There's not really anybody that can tank G2's engage. So with G2 having full control here, MKOI really need to land some crucial poke if they are to try to retake.
Super thinking if he can step up. The answer's no. To look for the Valkyrie out, but still can't escape. Caps gets the kill. Now 7-2-5 on this RE. A 3k gold lead for him as he looks to chase down Alvaro.
Caps, does he land the charm? He gets it onto Alvaro, but he's still quite tanky. He's going to be forced to burn the ulti, but that's going to be a Nash start from G2. It's a 4 versus 5. MKOI need to try to find the same miracle energy
Eyes
that
on
G2
Jojo.
had.
Jojo putting the fangs into Broken Blade. Hans Sama down to half HP. Alvaro forced towards the top of the fight. Caps are looking to be that bouncer. Mirwin jumps in. Caps chasing Alvaro out. Mirwin flashes the wall. The charm does not connect. Caps goes golden. Elioa misses the shot blast. The Baron secured for G2 as they keep MKOI at bay. The flash forward from Caps. Going in with the Foxfire onto Alvaro there, but Mirwin pops the Between Worlds and is able to escape himself. The Drake is up. Broken Blade's gonna face Jack. Dodges the petrifying gaze.
He laughs at him.
Oh my God. The top father making sons of MKOI.
He even spams the laugh emote. He's got a bit of a stretch on the camera as well. Broken Blade, just with a straight up hard outplay, adding insult to injury. Elioya forced to run away. G2 with the Baron turn their attention towards the Dragon, and KOI are quickly running out of options.
And KOI now without the petrifying gaze, it's so difficult. That was their one piece of CC. They really needed to try to dissuade this Nasher siege. G2, they won't just be looking for tier 2s, they're going to be looking for inhibitors. They're going to be looking to seal the deal on this game 3.
Still 4 waves left on this Baron buff. A little bit more than that, in fact, as G2 push through mid and bot. We've seen this in 3 out of 3 games. Not yet on those inhibitor towers, but have the cannon minion here and another wave on its way to continue the advance. Jojo sitting on 2 items, Seraphs and the Rod of Ages. Pretty tanky, but doesn't have as much damage output as he'd like. Mirwin the one to be dealing with Caps in this mid lane, but Caps continues to use the minions to his advantage to chip away at that inhibitor tower. Skumon stepping forward. Hun summoned that. Flash petrifying gaze into the quickness. Does manage to get the double charm and the double knockup, but Skumon goes onto the backline immediately. And with the Cyclone and the decoy, he manages to get himself to safety. MKOI looked for the engage. They pulled the trigger, but they couldn't find the kill.
Both sides walk away battered and bruised, but that was a 4v5. Caps in the mid lane secures a tower.
All out onto Mirwin. Broken Blade looking for the 1v1. Basically a solo bolo as he pulls Mirwin away from his team, gets the kill. And because of that, G2 can step up on the bot side.
And Hansama has the healing with the Vamp Scepter. G2, they want to keep it going. Caps might look to TP back. Maybe they even want to try to end the game here.
Mirwin up in 40. No petrifying gaze, no quickness. Still flashes available for Super, Elioya and Alvaro, but MKOI definitely on the ropes. reeling from the G2 onslaught. Miasma down to stop Caps going for an advance. Does have that Spirit Rush. G2 for the moment seems settled on double inhib if they can. 20 seconds on Mirwin.
Caps will look for one more play maybe. Unless they want to take the safer route, they don't want to risk it. But still, it's going to be 2 inhibitors for G2. And hope is low for MKOI. They need a miracle to get back in this game. So all G2 now need to do is get control of this top side, play for the tier 2. Skumon should be completely fine here.
He can just run away from this. Or he can run back in.
Goes back in, uses the Cyclone. Caps is on his way with a Spirit Rush 2, takes the Scuttle Crab for Elioyo at least, with the GA popped. Flash Charm immediately with the Zeeks, the Weirding not enough to kill off Caps. He'll Spirit Rush out between worlds, doesn't quite clip Skumon's heels. So Mirwin unable to find the damage in the end. The Weirding again on Caps with an accelerated Shock Blast. G2 just made it out of their base. And Caps will be very rapidly returning.
Okay, we've sung the praises of Skumon this series, but he cost himself a flash and a GA, his support's flash, and he almost got Caps killed, all for a Scuttle Crab, which he didn't even get, by the way.
Yeah, he got a little bit too over-eager there. Thought he could try to end the game if he got some kills. And it is going to be some sums, as you said, Vetty, but still not quite the miracle that MKOI were looking for. Maybe a chance of hope in their eyes, but they really need either a crazy Jojo Pion ultimate or a really good poke.
I mean, KOI have shown moments of brilliance throughout this series, and they're going to have to show us one in order to keep their hopes alive in this game. A pick, a steal, something. They will need to find it to bring us to the possibility of a reverse sweep, to even bring us the possibility of KOI standing a fighting chance throughout the rest of this game. G2 have turned their attention to the top tier 2 tower.
They know Jojo's in the bot lane. He was holding off on pushing out that wave, but needs the gold. Still only sitting at 2.5 items as Skumon looks for the Cyclone, gets the double knockup. Charm coming out as well as Alvaro dives back in. Skumon will fall for this. Super caught out there with the all-out, and he'll go down as well. A 2-for-1 so far in the exchange. Jojo coming back to base rapidly, but is it going to be quick enough to save this inhibitor tower? G2 with 4, MKOI only with 3. They back away. The inhib tower chipped away. Has 2 plates left on it. Hansama still relatively untouched as he steps in on this Yunara.
The super minions are a little bit broken up. You can see after pushing out that bot wave, very far away from actually creating any pressure. Mid wave has been caught by the Aurora. 4 members now once again from G2 in top lane.
G2 need to be careful. Alvaro's up in 5 seconds. If they overstay here, MKOI could try to run them down.
50 seconds on the Baron. I think this is a wise call from G2. They need to go back to base, reset, get that HP up, replenish wards. They can afford to lose the Dragon. Really, that Baron is what they need in order to close this game out. Soul is still a ways away.
Jojo finishes his 3rd item, a Cosmic Drive. There's 4 on Elioyo. The poke, if it connects on Caps, Hansama, all abroad, will be pretty powerful. Have another look at this play under the tower. Skumon looking for the Cyclone, but a good flash from Super gets him out.
Yeah, it's a very heavy commitment from G2. Alvaro is still able to connect the charm onto Skumon, which allows for KOI to get the trade back. Super, I mean, he just gets hard CC'd by Broken Blade. There's little he can do to get out of that situation. 2-for-1, Dragon respawns. G2 turn their attention to it. As we said, they'd have to wait another 5 minutes before really threatening the Soul. I think this game will end before we get to that point, unless KOI can steal away this Baron. Now back out onto the map. Vision will be denied. KOI doing what they can to enter that topside jungle as G2 look to suffocate their vision.
Yeah, G2, they just want to hold control here and make sure that MKOI have no chance of entry. As long as Elioyo can't enter the pit, Hansama and Skumon can just 2-man it here, yeah.
Start it up.
Well, difficult. Elioyo needs to be creative here. Or MKOI needs to try to break the wall that is Broken Blade, with Caps off on the side.
3 fast side alterations available for MKOI. They can spot out the pit, but they don't really think that this is happening yet. Or if they do, they've already given up the ghost on it. G2 will be able to take the Baron. Double supers on the bot side. MKOI needs to clear out that wave pretty soon. The rest of them are not in the best spots for G2 to actually advance.
MKOI now, they need to try to find an engage immediately, because otherwise G2, they will just be running down your base with the super minions. With that Nash, those minions will do so much.
Importantly, mid lane inhibitor about to respawn. Bot lane as well, 30 seconds away. G2 aggregating around this mid lane inhib after just taking the top. GA still not back to Skumon. A few seconds at least left on that. MKOI Now look to defend their bot lane inhib if they can. There is a super minion on its way through this bot lane. Good damage onto LeBron. That's half his health gone.
Jojo is who they're most afraid of. His ability to turn an entire fight with a good ulti is the thing that G2 has to respect. The poke is going to continue to come down. The charm connects.
Onto super, no flash on him, has to get away. Uses the barrier. Jojo looks for the damage on the Broken Blade, but just doesn't have the itemization to get through that Cassante. Super will heal back up on the fountain. The first Nexus Tower down to half HP. Knocked back with the Q3. Broken Blade did catch out Elioya, but won't go for any more. Now the double supers here to help G2's advance. Mirwin going in, the quickness for the Great Wild Growth will knock up Alba as Cumon dives onto the backline with his Guardian Angel back up. Mirwin tried to go in, but he gets felled first. Jojo flashing away from Broken Blade, but low mana, and not really much you can do to save his face as G2 advance. Hunsummer taken out by Elioya. The last man standing over here, Jojo unable to get back, and Elioya can't find a way in. G2, for the 10th time in a row, will be going to finals as they 3-0 MKOI.
G2, they get their ticket to the finals. It was a dominant 3-0. Everybody on G2 stepped up today, but Skumon needs his praises for this series. Absolutely gapped Elioya today.
He absolutely did. A very impressive performance, very reminiscent of his performance in the summer finals. G2 came and they delivered. They have quelled all of the doubts. They've done exactly what they did last year, secured themselves another spot in the finals, and they look to take a bow as they will see us in Barcelona.
You can vote for one of them, your Kia player of the series. Vote Skumon, Capital, Hunsummer.
It's Skumon.
Are your options.
It is Skumon. He is your player of the series.
I mean, Caps also had a really good series. And did Hunsummer.
So, I mean, he had a good game 3, I feel. I feel like he was quite quiet in games 1 and 2. Like, don't get me wrong, he definitely did his job, but I mean,
I think Skumon is the.
I mean, yes, it is Skumon, but guys, we have to, present the other options as possibilities, you know?
Well, I mean, I will say, Koi, I'm a little frustrated just because I find that the thing I always say about Koi is it feels like that they have such exceptional potential.
You can see the potential.
You can
like,
see
I knew
how
when
good
you
this
started
team
talking,
is.
I knew you were going to say potential because you can see it.
Like
in the game.
Game 1, like their early game was so good, and I see it all the time. And like, I genuinely think Jojo played incredibly well, but it wasn't enough. They did not show up today, and G2 with the 3-0 looked convincing.
Jack, you want to do the toss?
We now have PDL with Shock, Strakos, a Broken Blade, and the jungle goat himself, Skumon.
Well done, Jack, and well done to G2 Esports. They booked their tickets directly to the grand final next week in Barcelona. Many would say business as usual. Is that correct, Broken Blade? Were people wrong to underestimate you before the playoffs?
I feel like it happens every year, and then we end up winning or going far. Last year we didn't win every split. This year we want to take it step by step because in last year's winter we didn't manage to win, and we want to change that. Obviously, that already starts from today. We have to go home and stay humble and practice a lot.
Something told me you were going to say that. We have a graphic, I don't know if we're going to show it now, but it's about G2's proficiency to get to those grand finals. Even if you don't win, you make so many of them, but you guys still want more. So Skumon, tell me about of course you weren't part of all of this, but that's okay. You're part of some of it. Definitely in Madrid last year because you were MVP, I remember. Tell me a little bit about the hunger of showing everybody who's boss, really.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, we really want this time around to win every finals we go for. Last year was like definitely unfortunate with like winter and spring, but I do think that we got a lot of takeaways from them. And going to another final in this LEC versus, I'm really looking forward to see what we can do. And also like on the big stage, it's going to be really fun. So I'm looking forward, and hopefully we'll get another win here.
Talk to me a little bit about the prep coming into today, because I think one thing that you guys did that was really cool is when we watched your KC series, I think it was Vyzin that you played. It was a lot of facilitators that gave you room, BB, to play more flashy champions like the Rumble, like the Gwen. Today we saw both sides of the coin. I saw you play the J4, trying to set other people up for success. I also saw the Zehen. How easy is it for you guys to like flex between these two styles where we have a very active early game Skumon and maybe a J4 game, and a Zehen game where they're getting Dragon, you're going for red buff, and you're kind of just playing for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think like it's all about like knowledge kinda, and like knowing our timings and like what kind of champs we have in our draft. And yeah, like as you mentioned, like when I have a Javan, I really have like way more room for like early ganks or like just being more active in general. But yeah, like the champs like Zayn, for example, is like a bit slower, so you need to be really mindful about your tempo and like which player you're going for. But I still think we can play bad that game, so I don't think we should have gave all the Drakes. But yeah, it's all about like knowing this kind of stuff, and it comes from scrims, yeah, and stage, obviously.
I will ask, you know, often when we talk about G2, we talk about caps, right? And I think that's normal, right? But in this series, I feel like you were very much the main character. Oh, the trophy! Oh, it's fine. Oh my god. There would almost be no trophy for you to win. Ollie, we love you. Accidents do happen. So, Skewmont, yeah, you were kind of like the main character. So I wonder, I don't know, I wouldn't be able to turn it off if I was you and had to play in a pro team. I'd be like, well, I don't want to be facilitator. I always just want to do what I did today. So, you know, maybe maybe you want to do a play for the coaching staff or what? Or
how do you stay humble, I guess, is the ultimate question. Same goes for you after like that Gwen game, because you guys all have had these moments where you pop off, and then there's a lot of games where you have to take
BB's too humble now. Let's
backseat. You're right. Yeah. BB's too PR trained. We gotta change that.
Yeah, man. I think like everybody, like that's what makes our team really good. Is that everybody has their own angles to carry games, right? Like as you mentioned, Gwen with the BB with the Gwen, caps usually most of the games, anyways, is just caps. But yeah, it is like champs like Zayn, for example, that are coming to jungle, definitely gives you way more like tools to just like be really strong on team fights. But yeah, like it just depends on the champ you play. Like for example, when Hans can play, I don't know, like maybe a Jhin, for example, he might be like a bit weaker and like not as flashy in team fights. But I really think that it just depends on like what you play. And I think we're aware of it, which makes it like nice. Like for example, if I'm playing Maoka, I'm obviously not gonna be 10-0, right? I'll just play for the team. So I think yeah, everybody's like really versatile, so that's very good.
It's a good spot to be in. Now, I have a question I kind of want to ask to BB, but Skewmon, if you have an opinion on this as well, I would love to hear it. Do you feel like other teams in the LEC are undervaluing domestic competition? Because I feel like every time we have an interview with any player, they're like, Worlds is the goal, Worlds is the goal, Worlds
Not
is the
just
goal.
Worlds, playing at Worlds and beating those
Playing
teams.
at Worlds, beating LCK teams, that's the goal. But I'm watching these teams barely make it to top 4. In the case of GX, I've seen you guys be in that role before. I've seen Casey and MKOI be in that role where they have these lofty ambitions, and then we see sometimes these lackluster domestic performances. So do you feel like there's a problem that we have in the LEC where teams aren't taking the domestic
I will give a
serious enough?
caveat, because Kalis did say on PGL, he said, no, we're looking at one best of 5 at a time. We aren't, so I just want to make sure.
Which is good, yeah, sure. I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth,
Yeah.
but the general sentiment of people undervaluing, let's say, domestic competition.
I mean, at least this year, I feel like the domestic competition has been pretty strong. With teams like Na'Vi coming in, I think they have very, very good players, very strong rookies. For us, we also barely made it to playoffs. So for us, we are G2 and we always like to make it far, especially internationally. We want to go there every single year, right? But we also, again, like sometimes we also get reality checked by players who also are like rookies. So for us, it's just important to like stay on our feet. You know, I do think this year, at least for, like I saw one interview with Rilich where he said he's going to first stand, and it's a good ambition to have, but obviously winning EU first is important, right?
Yeah. Sure
for him.
BB, tell me a little bit about your new grind set, because we saw the Hotspawn article. Yeah, I'm just every lane, they got to look out now. No more stuff, because Dracos had a point earlier, just to fill you in, where he said, usually in Europe, it doesn't matter if you have a counter pick in top lane, because maybe they'll get 400 gold up, maybe, and they won't do anything with it, and it really doesn't matter in Europe. And I was wondering if that inspired your quote. Do you have a caveat?
Caveat is, I was saying that Knock was doing it, you did it in the Gwen game versus Kana, but we saw yesterday, example, Mainter versus Lot, he got the Rumble, he got like 400 gold, and nothing happened. And I do think for the most part in Europe, if you have a Scion and they get a counter pick, I still feel like the Scion 90% of the time is the better option. And is that a skill difference? Like, where does that come from?
I mean, I do think that Sign is a strong blind. That's why people are blinding it. It's hard to punish a champ that also just is strong in lane and is a tank. But at the same time, like, for example, talking about Nako, I think he had a very good split, right? And he has been playing carries all his life. So he knows really well how to punish you, right? And Even in the last game, I was playing Cassandra and I was probably down a lot of gold, you know.
A lot,
but,
yeah, like 1,000.
The Aurora is just very strong in lane, right? And for me, I just have to think about how do I minimize the damage because I know I will outscale, right? And I think blind picking versus counter picking is there's like it's a skill, you know.
Sure.
But you also need the confidence to back that up. I was lacking that confidence at some time in my career. Let me tell you something. You know, like you need confidence. You also need the trust from your teammates, right? Like the Gwen, for example, knowing that if they did pick Sion, you cannot allow that. You know, you will punish it and stuff like this.
So are European top laners just pretty good at playing to neutralize these matchups, to make the most of these blind picks and not give up advantages? Or do you think that in general, European top laners aren't strong enough to press these blind picks when they have counter pick?
I think it's the second one, so they are not strong enough. But also, yeah, I just think they are not strong enough, to be honest.
Cool.
That's tough.
Yet.
And yet is a good point, because I think we have...
Can they be by next week?
We'll see.
1 week, it's a very short turnaround.
Skewmont, let me ask you a question. Can I ask a question right now?
Of course, go ahead, please.
You obviously have to trust in me to facilitate in that aspect of getting a lead when I have to counter pick, like Champions on Gwen, right?
Yeah, of course, I always trust you. I know that you are training these matchups as well, right? So like I know that you are confident on those matchups, but the most important thing is always yourself, right? So like if you're feeling it, I'll always trust you.
Aw.
Thank you.
That's really nice. And just settle it for us, the Rumble. Were you not allowed to play it? Did you not want to play it? Did you not feel comfortable on it? Because now you're really good on it.
The Rumble?
Yeah.
It's a story. It's a long story, you know. Like I think there was. I thought I can play it, but I couldn't play it.
Oh.
But I was practicing it. Like it was still my most played in solo queue.
Yeah.
But this year I was like, okay, you know what? I'll put in the hours, put in the work, put in the sweat, put in the tears, you know, put in the talks. I was like, we need to play this champion, man. And then eventually we just played it, and it's looking quite promising, I would say.
I would say it's good, but so to be clear, like 2025 BB, the Rumble Jace wasn't that you didn't want to play it, it's that the coaching staff might have had to do some mental gymnastics to shut that particular option down.
It was bold, you know. I wanted to play it, but I also wasn't the best at it. Like I knew I wasn't the best at it, you know.
Sure. So in hindsight, do you think like looking back on BB of 2025, you weren't ready for the Rumble, but 2026 you clearly are.
You know, that's where like it's like fascinating because that's how a man can change in such a short amount of time, and it's a beautiful message to you guys out there. What?
Exactly.
No, I mean, your ability to turn anything into like a chapter of a self-help book. When is the novel dropping, my guy? That's what I gotta know.
I was actually thinking about writing a book.
Do it, man.
About my life. But I'm
probably not believes in the picks. I believe in the book.
Probably not doing it.
I believe in the book.
Okay.
Probably not doing it.
I'm gonna include Skewmon again. No, of course. You weren't in our Kia Player of the Series vote, so maybe you do need to work on that Rumble. But you did win Kia Player of the Series, Skewmon. I think it was a no-brainer for everybody. Congratulations. We're just gonna go straight into our Euronics play of the day. Skewmon, he catches MKOI with a 4-man Wukong ultimate. So yeah, congratulations. Everything went swimmingly, except for that one scuttle. Yeah. That's fine, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy with my performance. I think the third game was a bit sus, but we made it work, so I'm definitely happy. And yeah, now eyes on the final, and hopefully we'll bring the title here as well.
Definitely so. So tell me a little bit about finals weekend then. You guys will be waiting in the grand finals. You just played MKOI, you already played KC, and GX is also there. So what do you think about who you will be facing in that final?
Honestly, that's a rough question. I'm not quite sure. I think like every team has their own has their chance. So I think it just depends on the moment, right? But I'll be ready no matter what, like who will be there, and I think we'll have a strong showing. But for now, I think, yeah, I mean, KOI looked like strong. I mean, they gave us a rough fight, even though like the score was 3-0. I really think they showed like some good stuff today. So probably KOI, yeah.
KOI? Okay, do you feel the same, Broken Blade?
No, I don't. I think it's going to be a battle between the Turkish tops, me against Lot in the finals.
Okay.
But it's going to be Jackie's carrying.
And winning?
No, I don't know. I mean, maybe I think
you're just gonna let him. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life, bro. Did you watch their series?
I watched a little bit, It's not. You asked me who I want it to be there. Or?
Who you want
yeah,
to
sure.
be there? Who you want? Okay, who you want to be there? Okay. Sorry.
Because you know why? I can tell you why as well.
Yeah,
because
sure.
they just haven't been in the finals for a long time, right? They have been with the old XL, where we also beat them. Just a side note, but it would be funny and cool because it would be cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I would love that story. That's an incredible underdog story, but that's going
They need to make us believe.
They really need to make us believe because there's no footage. I don't know what happened in scrims. I've heard they were the scrim gods last year, but what we've seen on stage, they're not the favorites in any matchup on the way up.
That
I
means
would say
they win versus KC.
And then MKOI.
And then MKOI.
And then they face you, and then Jackie's pops off, and it's Turkish top lane battle.
Yeah.
It could be one of those, you know, that G2 is waiting in the final, and then the underdog 3-0s them.
We don't talk about that.
It happens. That's not a very positive note to sign off.
No, it's not a very positive note. You guys are looking great. Skewmon, I've called you the best jungler in the league now. Do you think that that is fair? When you look at your performance across scrims, obviously you guys are going to say yes.
Biased.
I mean, I think I still need to develop some of the part of the game, some aspect. I need to get better at that. But I mean, I think I showed some good stuff, right? I wouldn't call me top one, but close. I'll say it's close.
I like it.
Sure.
Close is good.
Yes, close is good. They got the hammer now. Jesus.
I don't know how they got the hammer. Shout out to the Fnatic fans who've been here all weekend, and the G2 fans who've been rightfully rewarded for their faith in
Yes,
your team.
thank you
Another
all.
quick 3-0.
Yes, if you've been here all weekend or all 4 days, you've been here for a lot of games, and we really appreciate your energy. Thank you so much. You guys, Dragons, can you promise me something? I didn't see that energy at all in the regular season. Like, please, because it's been awesome. But guys, they need you in the regular season as well.
Guys, it's not a seance. You guys have to show up when your team is alive.
Yeah.
We don't need to be communing with the dead, please.
Yes. Oh, but thank you so much for all the energy. Congratulations once again to G2 Esports. But of course, we will have GX, KC, MKOI, and G2 in Barcelona next week for our finals weekend of our inaugural LEC versus. It's going to be a banger, BO5s all the way, and all of us there to support, and hopefully some of you as well. See you next week. Hasta luego.
Ciao, ciao.
Will be able to get in and steal away this red while avoiding the damage on Bravo. Double penetrators, but still the auto's coming out of super.
Coming. I can loot.
They can get your ult. Yeah, he's ulting. Nice. Nice. Good guys. Put me. I ult in 30. Keep fighting. It's fine. It's really fine. We're winning really hard. Nice. Look national. She's gonna ult, guys. You control. I have TP. Kill by, shield, do smite. Kill by. Vai first. Nice. I'll come for the smite. Nice, Dragon. Guys, go burn.
Lands the root onto Alvaro. Hansama did get slowed by the beat drop. Skewmon here first. Some damage onto Lavrov.
Super. Holy.
Nice on flash. I'll look him. Yeah, we kill. I'm going more as well. I want to go more. I ult. Yeah, chill.
Just tank. I have a hook. Can you tank?
He's dead. Give me. Good job.
Look, Rise.
Rumble low. Yeah. Nice.
Now somebody talk to me right now.
No. I'm not talking to you.
Kill him and go Nash. Guys, do both.
Let's go, okay? We got this.
I do often prefer seeing her in top lane.
What?
Both teams.
Near win. The charm. He went between the veil. Went invis and the charm still lands.
I'm marking Cassio, guys.
Nice. It's a penta, no? Oh shit. No, never mind.
Good job, guys. Good job.
First penta kill of 2025.
one of the best LEC intros I've seen in years.
Oh, Jackies! For a bit, I know that. Crowd's on ready for the dread flying. Their rapid, crazy minds right in the arcane again.
Everything blue in this arena. Everything blue.
Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. Let's go! Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. Let's go, let's move, side to side, let's go. Everybody bring it in.